I don't know if he picked up on that.
Yeah, Mikey boy, we need some more lippy love.
What? You mean
We need more lip action.
Lips. Give us your lips.
Give me them lips.
we're live? So hey, how's it going, everybody?
I don't know what's
the
happening.
fuck they want.
That's how I wanted us to go live.
Well, you
He
got
was
your
asking
wish.
if your mouth was desynced for anybody else, and I was like, I don't know. He needs to move his lips more.
Am I desynced though?
I don't think so. Not on
Hello.
mine.
Am I desynced? Maybe it's a Scott's bad wire.
Nah.
No, that's fine.
Everything's good then? Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
that's fine.
Cool. All right. Hey, everybody. How's it going? Welcome back to Lost Initiative. Fate in the Stars, Season 2, Week 9. The final farewell to Trig.
The final farewell.
The final
The
farewell.
final
final farewell part 1.
Part 2. Part 2.
Well, no, it was the farewell part 1. Now it's the final farewell part 1.
Oh, okay. We're just going to drag it.
We're just gonna every episode's just
as
gonna be
possible.
the final. We just keep adding on
Yeah,
to it.
yeah. And it's just like a Trig focused campaign from
Listen,
here on
Maggie's
out.
welcome to leave the week that we all roll light destiny points.
Right. So, before we do anything then, let's clear the dice pool real quick. Let's clean everything up. Force player updates. All right. Let's get some rolls in, everybody. Let's see how the force is looking at you guys today.
All right, same as always.
Oh no.
Oh no, the final farewell part 2 next Wednesday.
Okay, sorry. I'm trying to find my character sheet. There's so
Oh yeah,
many-
dice pool. Let me give you guys a dice pool real
Alright,
quick.
so-
I know we're never gonna all roll light side, so Maggie can't go.
Oh no.
Well, no matter what Scott rolls, he's not going to be able to balance it completely. So.
I'm never.
Hey,
gonna
it's
be able
same
to
as last
create-
week.
Mm,
create
Last week,
a
I'm bringing all the
device.
love.
Thank you for the subs, by the way, everybody. All the resub love. We appreciate it very, very much. All right. Let's just, should we just jump in then and see what
I think we already did.
awaits? Technically,
I think we
you
already
did.
jumped in and
You did.
dropped down. And
You got sunk. So,
Stop. No water jokes, all right? No sunk, no jumping, no swimming, no treading.
wow,
Too
wow, this
Too
is just like
soon.
sad.
Yes.
So, last episode, Trig got a SOS from the home planet of Chad. You arrived at Chad, an island speckled planet that is dominated by ocean. And here, a lot of the Shadrafan, which is the race that Maggie's character Trig is, worship something known as like the big green fish. They see it as a veritable god. They make sacrifices to it and hope that it looks favorably upon them. However, when she arrived, the big green fish had been at the very least attacking multiple islands, causing weather problems and damage to the islands and the structures there and abouts. And they basically were reaching out to Trig as somebody who was probably the biggest worshiper on his particular island until he disappeared with Ogre, however many years ago that was. And hoping that maybe Trig had some insight, some religious insight, pray to it. Maybe they've been doing sacrifices wrong. Whatever the case, they wanted Trig to come back and see if they could at least figure it out for the island that his home was at. And so they did. They reached off, and to get there super quick, Trig actually messed with the engines a bit on their ship. Created a bit of a fuel line shortcut for some of the fuel that went through, bypassed some of the filtering process, and took what was going to be a 2-day trip in hyperspace and shortened it down to like 8 hours at the expense of what sounded like a little bit of stability would be the cost of the ship. You can only do it once every so often, and usually it puts the ship through a lot of strain to do so, but he did it, and they arrived. When they arrived, they already were in preparations for the next attack. Their seismographs or what have you, machinery was telling them that there were some rumblings a few miles off the coast of the island. Usually that's indication that the fish is going to attack. We're gonna go into our bunker and wait it out, and things should go from there. And they did. They waited for a few hours. While they did, Trig discovered that in his little green fish, there was like a computer beeping going on. Ogre had heard it with his dog-like ears. They cracked it open, found some sort of tracking device. Just as the fish was attacking, Trig made a splicing attempt and succeeded. And in the same exact time, the fish, after colliding with the island once, everything went quiet. When they went above ground, there was the big green fish swimming gently off the coast of the islands about 200 feet out. Trig loses his mind. This is basically God in front of him. Prays, dances with a naked Korra at one point. They do everything they can to get its attention, and it's not responding to anything until eventually Trig tries one more thing, takes the tracker that they had gotten from somebody else's green fish and does the dance with the tracker, trying to gather its attention. And then in the process, Cora and Trig were eaten by the fish and dragged underwater. Siam and Ogre took a boat, the other tracking device, and tried to follow it over the water. And then once they breached over the surface of the ocean, the fish did a 180, came up above the surface and swallowed them in their boat, and then crashed back down into the ocean.
Yes, they didn't know they were taking the tracker. They just grabbed all our gear.
Yeah, exactly.
And the tracker happened to be in that.
Sure, yeah. However it was, the tracker went with them. They just grabbed all the stuff. After being swallowed up, the fish went deep into the ocean. You could feel the pressure changing. You got swallowed by swallowed. You willfully got swallowed. You put a little like grappling hook all the way down. Got sucked into some goopy sexual stomach acids and put into your own little pods, and then got farted out the gills once you arrived at whatever destination that the fish was bringing you.
After a good sexual sucking, I love to fart out the gills.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Oh.
Wow.
Was that a recap or what?
When did it get sexual?
All last session.
Yeah, Mike made it as sexual as he could.
I was just saying things like it was slimy and like fleshy and
Moaning and...
I don't think I'd said anything about moaning. Yeah. I think that was you maybe, Wade.
My favorite thing is
naked Cora.
We ended last session with Cora and Trig doing the like prayer dance and just like laughing and celebrating. And I think that's the cutest, and I'm so happy about it.
Well, in case you don't remember exactly where you were on a dock, all around an island underwater in some geological dome. Actually, why don't we open up with some rolls?
Ooh, buttered rolls?
Buttered rolls are preferred. Let me just pop open a character sheet real quick.
Rolls?
Ooh, I love Hawaiian rolls. That'd be great. That would be great.
What's a Hawaiian roll?
It's like a sweet
like
roll.
A slightly sweet bun.
Yeah, like a slightly sweet bun. Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh,
I
okay.
want sushi.
Well, it's a dinner roll.
Hawaiian
not a
roll,
bun.
though.
We have some like fish and bread.
None of
You
these
don't like fish and bread?
fit.
I could go for some fish with my bread.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, fish sandwich or something, or some just.
A sandwich? A fish sandwich?
Yeah.
Now I want fish.
Yeah.
All I got is this salad that is green screening out.
Yeah, it is green screening out.
It doesn't look so good.
It legit looks like you're eating like sour candy with a fork, like those sour like.
Yeah, I'm just eating
Leathers.
leftover
It's a
sour
salad, you know.
Delicious.
The bag of Sour Patch Kids. She's just stabbing.
Hey, I would do that. I love Sour I don't like candy much, but Sour Patch Kids are fucking so the bomb.
Sour Patch Kids I like, but like only in short bursts. I can only have like a few at a time. I'm like, I'm done.
I did one of those
Gotta get them
challenge
Sour Patch
videos.
exploders, my dudes. They're
Mark
like
had
Sour
us,
Patch gushers. They're so.
Mark had us do a sour challenge where we took down like 40, 50 warheads and we melted the insides of our mouths and throats.
That can actually injure you.
Oh, it did. Yeah, it did. But we stopped, or I've kind of stopped eating sour candy since then because just like
I'd imagine that would ruin it for years, probably.
it
Sour
did.
candy
Yeah.
is my favorite.
The
I
inside
love
of my cheek lining fell out.
Oh God.
Yeah, I bet you had like blisters and stuff in your mouth.
Oh yeah, everyone else's tongue. I was like, I'll store it in my cheeks to protect my tongue. Little did I know, cheeks
They
still
just
susceptible to
dissolve.
Birds.
Wait, no, you're right. I love sour candy, but I think just straight up Swedish fish trumps sour candy. So
I don't like Swedish fish I will eat them, but they taste waxy to me.
No,
But there's real Swedish fish, then there's knockoff Swedish fish, then there's knockoff Swedish fish at a high-end candy store, and that's the best one.
All the kinds that I've had, they're kind of like it's like a waxy candy. That's okay. Like I don't mind eating it.
Yeah.
Like not my jam.
Doesn't tickle your pickle?
But I don't
gotcha.
really care for candies in general. Then that's not really my thing.
Gotcha.
So maybe that's why I'm just not.
I feel ya. I'm not really big on it either.
Can I get from all of you a knowledge warfare check against 3 purples, please?
Easy done.
We're inside a whale. First thing we do, let's war our way out.
No,
You're not. You're out of the whale. The
Do
whale's
you guys
gone.
get to combine your crazy
The
shit?
Great
to do?
War of the Greenfish.
No combining. This is just individual checks from everybody as they look around.
Yeah, baby. 3 successes and 2.
Trig, the warfare god.
You are. Oh, this makes sense that I know and none of you know.
Well, we gotta.
Listen, Trig knows a lot about it.
even Ogre can't even figure things out here.
How did I screw up a warfare?
We're on Trig's home turf now. We're all the bitches.
So
Trig knows fish war, especially green fish war.
A redescription for those here of where you're standing. So as you kind of exited the fish and found yourselves on a dock surrounding an underwater in this dome, this artificial dome that had been created at some point underneath. And on this dock, it leads this is a long, probably like 300-400 foot dock that leads to a center platform that is circular. And on that center platform, there is one singular building that is multi-leveled. It doesn't look like a skyscraper as much as it kind of looks like a layered, tiered building that probably has 4 or so levels on it. All around this circular platform are other docks, countless. You probably estimate somewhere between 20 and 30. And at each one of these docks, as far as you can see, is, much like on your own, a placid, swimming, large, gigantic green fish. There are many of them all around this dome. As you kind of take in your surroundings and maybe in awe at what you're at, Trig, seeing multiple of what you thought was just going to be, one god, and maybe more worried. Siam is panicked, looking like, where the hell are we? Ogre maybe mentally prepping for some resistance, and Cora enjoying it as much as Trig seems to be enjoying
Cora's
it. At least
just like, it's fucking real.
I'm amazed and stoked to be alive. Is what's going on. I really thought I was going to drown, and then I really thought I was going to be digested.
That's true. You were crying. Oh,
I was very, very scared.
Yam's wet and out of beer. He's done.
Trig, as you spend maybe even time in just like taking very slow steps, really taking it in, you can actually see beyond the dome itself into the deep ocean. However, it's pitch black down here. You actually can't see any wildlife swimming beyond the dome. You are that deep where natural light penetrating this far down is impossible. The dome itself is circular with metal bands that stretch across what seems like glass. However, the bands themselves, the rivets and such, are already rusting away. There's a lot of rust throughout, and some of even the rivets are missing bolts through them. The fact that this dome is still here is more of a gift that nature hasn't wiped it out more than anything else. It looks like it hasn't been truly tended to for some time. And the more you look around, the more you realize some of the docks have been damaged or neglected. And even some of the fish, where now that you get a good look, there's even places where some of the fish are missing. Most of the fish are around, but there's a few spots where maybe 3 or 4 of the green fish aren't around. But most importantly is the building at the center. Trig, you're a Shadra fan. And one of the things the Shadra fan love to do, like you said, they're a community. They're storytellers. They love to raise kids together. A lot of their history is by word of mouth, not really by book. A more proper keeping of their history didn't really start until starports started popping up and their technology was far enough along where they could start going into space. Then once they started having visitors, more proper bookkeeping started to happen, and more proper taking of their history started to happen. And that was, of course, maybe 1,000 or 2,000 years ago when the starports first started opening up here on Chad. So written history prior to that is all but non-existent, beyond stories. But there are stories. And one of the stories that the Shadra fan tell is a time where they almost wiped each other out. Wars against one another, emperors and kings trying to take hold of this planet before a true community arose and started working their way towards the kind of Shadra fan community that we have now. Before, it was very similar to a lot of other pre-space species, where there was kings and emperors and such vying for domination over this planet, and the wars were never ending. Constantly, the Shadra fan were at each other's throats, so much so that there were experimental tactics taking place to try and wipe out islands altogether. And the reason this is important is because as you look to the building and the dome, and you start taking all of this in, and with that many successes in a warfare check, you do remember tales of underwater military bases, these stealth strike spots where these old empires were attempting to build something that would be unable to be detected, and be able to strike their enemies before they even knew what was happening. And as you look around, you realize this is man-made, and this has been around for God knows how many years. That thought starts to seep in. This sounds familiar to some of your older stories as you begin to take steps, and the awe starts to fade away a little bit, and being back home and remembering those stories that your parents told you begin to take root.
Okay.
We'll open here as you all start walking forward, and there wasn't really much conversation beyond Trig and Cora being kind of in awe. But I imagine Ogre and Siam, now that they've kind of been popped out of this fish, all of this happened seemingly very quickly, are able to see the same thing, this artificial dome. You're not sure if you're at the bottom of the ocean. You're probably not. You'd be likely, be crushed well before you got to the bottom of the ocean, but deep enough where, as I said, light doesn't penetrate. What are Ogre and Siam doing at this point? Is it more of a concern, you lock and load type deal?
Looking around to see if there's cameras, turrets, if there's people, like anything that looks like it could be a problem.
Okay.
You said light doesn't penetrate.
You have artificial lights.
Oh,
happening
okay.
here. Very similar to like there's some lights that kind of speckle the docks themselves. There's light that lead to the center platform, and the big building in the center is being lit up by some of the interior is already lit up, and there's some exterior lighting as well. It's all being lit from the inside, meaning power is being generated here somewhere.
Does this structure look anything like the
Nothing.
train structures?
Nothing at all. It is mostly made of rock.
I would look for some sort of, cave or anything like that, because we're still pretty far down.
Yep.
So I imagine the pressure hurts. So I don't know if I would understand this or not, but I feel like we need to find some sort of cave structure or anything.
Sure.
I know you said there wasn't anything built, but something
Yeah,
just
go
to keep
everybody.
pressure off our heads.
Siam's looking around for cameras. You're looking around for a place to see if you can, hide out or kind of get your heads together.
Survival?
Yeah, I would say for Siam, perception check because of what he's looking for. You're welcome to make a survival check to see if there's anything here. But I will say, Scott, right out the gate, like I described, it's just docks that lead to a center platform and then nothing behind you but glass.
Average difficulty?
Yep, average difficulty, please.
Unless we can get into that base.
You can walk to the center platform, but you don't know about the building itself on the platform.
Oh, might as well go to the center platform then, instead of just wasting time at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess I would start progressing, while he's looking.
Guns out or gun slung over your back?
Probably over my back. I can quickly pull it out.
Okay. So as Cora and Trig are kind of in awe, and Siam is nervously looking around, and Siam you don't see anything that's overtly a camera or anything. Ogre just begins to walk. He walks briskly past Siam first, then Cora, and then Trig, and just silently begins to walk towards the center platform. Do the three of you just follow in suit? Does anybody try and stop him?
I'd follow it at this point, yeah.
Trig will kind of look up to Cora and be like, I wonder why there's so many. Maybe there are more than one greenfish?
I don't know, but it's amazing, Trig.
It feels like no one's been here for a really long time. Look at those bolts. They're rusting, and those ones are missing.
I don't know how
Maybe we
often
should look
normal
around.
fish stop at docks, but I wouldn't get your hopes too high that these are real green fish.
Trig kind of takes that in for a moment when you say that to him, but he doesn't really agree with you on that. And then,
Yeah. You go, you talk.
And then he kind of just he sees Ogre walking forward and starts bumbling his way towards where Ogre is. And he kind of gives you a look like, why would you say that, Siam? He kind of gives you a questioning look, he makes a puff noise and kind of walks and
He's
follows.
a wet, sad dog and he had to deal with Ogre's ancient magical huts, and now it's this, and he's like, I'm tired of gods.
Well, then you all push forward to the center platform. Like I said, it's just one building sitting on the center platform. However, it's multi-tiered. And at the front, as you walk forward to it and around the corner looking for the front of this building, eventually around to this gigantic blast door. It's big enough easily to fit a small ship. Your ship might fit here if you were able to get it down here. But it's just a giant blast door dead in front of you. And to the left is a computer panel of a sort. Not one that you recognize. It doesn't look modern whatsoever. In fact, it doesn't look familiar to any of you unless you make a successful lore check or computers check. Your choice.
Lore or computers. I'll do computers.
Sure.
How difficult?
So if you're going to roll a lore check, it'll be against 4 purple. If you roll against a computers check, it'll be against 3 purple. A little easier to tell if you have some knowledge about computers.
Oh, Trig failed. How do I fail with that many?
My goodness.
Ogre computer good. Ho ho.
Are we missing a roll, or is that everybody? No, we're missing Cora.
So computers or lore?
Yeah.
Or do I need to do
Lore
a
is
specific
4
one?
purple.
Well, you pick. You choose.
Computers
But
is-
Computers is 3, lore is 4 difficulty.
correct.
Oh, well then. Guess
Yep.
computers.
Mike,
Guys,
before you go on,
You can have
Yeah.
those.
you can use those 3 to screw up my computer's result in some way or have me screw something up. Trig will fix it.
Of course. Sure. Yeah,
Are
you
you
rolled.
sure? Look at what I just rolled for computers and I still failed.
Maggie, that's 1 in a million. Come on.
Okay, sure.
Yeah,
You're
what
be-
are the
you're
odds of
better
this
than
party failing multiple times?
Uh,
Oh wait.
But don't forget, when we tell you you could have those, you can just bounce it back as just take the strain. You know.
Yeah. I'm actually genuinely trying to think right now if there'd be anything, because really it's just like a knowledge check. What I'm looking for right now, you're just trying to recognize something. However, here, what I will say is, Ogre, when you approach, everybody's kind of approaching the big doors in front of them, the building that goes up 4 stories, kind of taking it all in, and this computer panel off to the left-hand side that has a decent-sized monitor and a keyboard in front of it, and then right to the left of it, there's this metallic circular enclosure case that's flat up against the actual wall itself. As you approach, the screen goes red before you even touch it, and that metallic thing opens up. It's double layered, and in behind it is a camera, and it pokes out just a little bit, and it's circular, and it kind of locks on to Ogre as he approaches, and clearly scans Ogre very openly before it slams shut again, and then you hear some mechanical whirring, and then it opens up one more time. And this little, and a long kind of bendy, noodly looking arm, mechanical arm, at the very end is a long pointy syringe, and words begin to start appearing on the computer screen that I would need, there's no knowledge language here.
Deception?
I would actually say it's a, no, it's not a deception. What are you talking about?
Education
Deception.
or lore?
It'd be whichever worlds. It could be education. It could be xenology.
Oh, under. Or
I was
under.
thinking lore or xenology. I think I would go with xenology. However, it would be for Trig, it would be xenology against 2 purple, whereas for the rest of you, it would be against 4.
Easy.
Didn't want to roll that.
You never know. You could
Alright.
roll really well.
Xenology is my best 2 greens.
Oh,
Wow. Siam, there you go too.
nice.
Cora too. Ogre too. What are you talking? You all
Oh,
succeed.
Yeah, those 2.
All right, guys, we all got our successes out of the way for that.
Yeah.
We're
So-
all stressed as fuck at this point, but
Immediately, the 4 of you
Reading hurt brain.
the 4 of you immediately recognize the language being put up is some form of Shadrafan language. It is not one you recognize, not one you're familiar with, but there are bits and pieces of words that you're picking up. And the 3 of you, Siam, Cora, and Ogre, all pick up words like blood, Shadrafan, sacrifice, violence. The words you're recognizing are ones that immediately have you thinking bad. Like, this is very, very bad. Trig, as you're reading it, you realize this thing is asking for a blood DNA sample, a sacrifice for the computer system to pick apart. And it's an old Shadrafan language.
see, I'm
Yeah,
gonna pull his
so-
pistols and aim them at this thing.
Trig starts walking forward and he's like mumbling to himself. That's why he was distracted and he wasn't paying attention to the computer when Ogre was fiddling with it. And he was just like, oh, thinking that it's not real. But he's like mumbling to himself. And
He said
he's like looking back at the machines and he's like, oh, and then he like sees this and he just grabs the noodle arm and just plugs it into himself.
So Sion pulls out his pistol, maybe defensively, holds it close, while Trig kind of mumbles to himself and walks towards it. You see Trig actually reach for the needle, and the needle pulls itself out of Trig's reach just for a moment, and then it quickly kind of snaps down and like pricks your arm that went reaching for it. And then it quickly kind of coils itself back into the hole. The metal slat shuts, and all of a sudden the words on the screen disappear as it begins to show a progress bar that's going up very
Trig
slowly.
like rubs his arm where it happened. He's like, well, that was rude.
It's okay. Most fish take DNA samples. It makes sense.
Trig looks at you like very like what?
See, I'm just being a sarcastic asshole at this point.
Fish, you know, take DNA samples.
Ones that aren't. Yeah, never mind. We don't want to talk about the fish that I know. What about the fish that you know?
Trig like shakes his head and looks back at the door and tries to see if it opens.
yeah. So Trig just was like, whatever, turns around. Progress bars continue going up until eventually it fills up, and then a giant green glowing check mark appears on the screen, and then the words, "Welcome, Dyphon Clan." That's your last. So, yeah, there you go. For the other two.
Trig looks up at Ogre and is like,
it knows me. Do you think my family came from here?
I'm sure it has some sort of database of all the people up above.
But why?
Why is there a big fish that's used to get from A to B?
Yeah, I think there's a lot more questions than we have answers right now, and you just gave a blood sacrifice to a computer that's part of a fish god
Whoa.
conspiracy, and
I saw them words as well, but let's be serious. If a little prick is what you're calling a sacrifice, then I know a little prick I wouldn't mind sacrificing.
a prick today is a decapitation tomorrow.
That's an
I
escalation.
was just asking for a blood sample.
For now.
When you say that,
just
I
one-
shrug and I'll turn and start walking.
I don't like this.
So it says, "Welcome, Dyphon Clan," and as you guys are having a conversation, you actually hear a quick opening of like a metallic slide, and actually the big blast doors don't open. In fact, a little compartment to the bottom left of it, just the size for a Shadra fan, slides open very quickly.
Oh, finally, door's my size.
Does Trig just go right on in?
Trig kind of like looks at everyone else and he's like, kind of motions for them to go because I think he figures that if it's looking for blood samples, that maybe it won't let them through if he goes in first.
Womp rat, I think that might be a bit small for my
It's gonna be a bit tiny.
size.
Oh, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah,
Maybe
and
I can open it from the
I don't
inside.
think I want to go in there and give them a foot or an organ or whatever they ask for in the next room.
So does
I look at him sideways.
all right, Trig. So do you head in first then?
Yeah, I guess I'll
Okay.
go in first.
You walk in. It's perfectly sized to your needs as a Shadra fan. Finally, like you said, a door your size. You fit in comfortably, and as you step through, the door slides shut behind you very quickly. You're in a pitch. Yep.
I was gonna immediately holler up like, Trig, hey Womp rat, is there a panel or something you could rip at and pop that door open?
Perception check while you're behind these metal
I'm sorry,
doors.
you were gonna describe. Sorry.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I'll have her roll Trig a perception check.
What difficulty?
A difficulty of on the other side of blast doors, it'll be against 3.
3 purple.
Yeah.
Okay. Any assistance?
They can't assist.
I yell louder. It gives her a clue.
You can't inspire her on the other side of this door if she
okay.
can't hear you.
I inspire you to hit.
I feel yeah. Okay, so
That.
you can hear his words. You can just make out what he's saying. He's talking about something about a panel on the other side of the door, But before you get a chance to react, as you step through and the door shuts, the room is pitch black. And within a couple of seconds, eventually you actually hear, you always hear that kind of whirring up noise of lights that haven't been turned on in quite some time. You have those LED lights that kind of flicker to life a little bit. Some of them stay on for just a few moments before they die out. Others linger, and it leads down a long stretch of hallway. And the lights themselves, the hallway itself, rather, is bereft of anything. There is no furniture, no artwork, nothing hanging from the walls. It is just an empty, maybe 20-foot wide hallway that leads forward an unknown amount. As you look around, there is a panel on the other side, however, and it is not on. It is pitch black.
Okay.
As you go to flick it on and maybe mess with it a little bit, you realize that it's going to take some work. You could probably get this thing up and running, but it's going to take some time, and you probably have to pop the panel out and take a look at the wiring behind to figure out what you need to do. But you could probably get this thing to power on and then maybe open it up from the other side if that's what this thing does.
Okay.
You guys have comms, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
we do.
Okay,
We
cool,
do
cool, cool.
comms.
Quality comms
Looks
even.
like I see a panel here. It's gonna take me a while. So you might want to get comfy.
Or we could go try to turn on one of the fish vehicles and. All right, we'll get comfy.
You could.
Now you let me know. This location is a bit sacred to you. If you'd like, we can get ourselves comfy as you were just suggesting. Or of course I could just do things my way.
Don't go shooting anything. I know your way.
And you
And
hear
get to
like
work
you hear him like pull out his toolbox and you hear it hit the like thunk on the ground
over the
and-
communicator.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Trig gets
Anything
to work.
pokes me, I'm shooting everything.
As you guys are actually waiting, eventually that metallic little circular slot opens up. The camera comes out, randomly chooses one of you. Let me find out which one.
Oh boy.
So it actually picks this time Siam as our number 2.
Yes!
It does a quick scan, and then it does what it does before. It coils back in. You hear a mechanical mooring, and then it opens up again, and a little spindly needle pops out and reaches forward toward Siam. It can't reach you fully. You're a little too far away. But
I'm shooting it.
is that the plan, to shoot it?
I just said if anything tries to poke me, I'm shooting it. It just shot a needle at me.
It didn't shoot a needle at you. It didn't go blink. It just came out and is looking to prick
Well,
you.
then I refuse to go near it.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
down
it
the side of
it's
the room.
not like dart gunning you from a distance. Like,
Well, it like popped out and came toward him. No, he's going to the other side of the room.
yeah, you get out of its range and you stay there. The needle will
And I'm
linger.
watching every other wall for any little pokies.
The needle will linger for a while. Did any one of the other two, Cora or Ogre, willingly let this thing kind of prick it, or no?
Cora would.
Cora would?
You don't know if that's sanitary.
Okay.
All right.
Cora steps forward instead, and it kind of rears itself back a little bit. For a moment, do you just kind of like put your arm out for it, or
Yeah, and like look away.
Okay, so yeah, you see Cora just kind of, and it rears back like a snake, and then it just kind of it strikes very quickly, pricks you. You feel the prick, very brief, kind of like I don't know, a bee sting maybe. It's gentle, and then it coils back in. The doors slat shut, and it begins to process. While it's processing, can I please get from Trig first a mechanics check to pull this panel off the wall safely without damaging it? Pretty simple. It's run-of-the-mill stuff for you, so it's just going to be against 2 purples. Please, Trig.
Mike, have you ever been stung by a bee?
God, not in a long time.
Not pleasant.
Yeah,
It hurts a lot. But
you're
I'm
like, it's
allergic. I don't
gentle.
know if that
One success, I'll
Well,
take
it hurts. It
Mm.
hurts, but it doesn't linger long.
I mean, it usually
It
injects a
does for
poison in
me.
you that leaves a burning, stinging sensation, and sometimes
Well, but
literally the-
I-
but I was gonna
allergic,
say, but it doesn't
so-
leave the stinger in you like a bee
Have you
would.
seen people with elephantitis? I start looking like that.
Oh man,
Same.
massive
I
I like start
allergies.
swelling up, and it's not a good. And then I can't breathe, and then I die.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm with chat. The
100%.
sting is gentle. It's the venom that's not. There's no venom in the sting. It's a gentle little prick. All right.
Mike, you're a gentle little prick.
That's also very true.
I think every DM I've ever had has been that.
No, Scott's way worse than I.
What? No, I just gave you. I don't want to spoil.
Did
But
you
something
or
else-
did Dave give that to us?
Why don't you
And also,
tell me about
Scott-
the semantics, okay?
Scott, the thing that you do that's so bad is you root for you're like, oh no, the bad guys failed. Oh,
Somebody has to be on their team. participation trophies, okay?
Root for evil.
So, Trig, pretty easily you're able to
But we're
undo
evil.
some of the bolts here and quickly pry this thing off and kind of lean it gently forward as it kind of just dangles there with the wires exposed. And now I need a computer
Easy.
a computer's check against 3 purples.
I don't think this thing has been open for a while, though.
Would you like to use a light side point?
No.
I
'cause I'm
will
guessing
use
you
a
do.
dark side point
All right.
to up the difficulty, please.
What's it
So
gonna be?
it'll be 2 purples and a red.
2 purples and a red?
Yep.
2 purples and a red. And then you're also upgrading it?
No,
No,
that's
no.
with the upgrade. 2 purples and a
Okay.
red.
It's 3 purples with an upgrade.
Yeah, it's 4 purples and 2
And
blacks.
computers, you said?
Yes.
Here we go. Hell yeah.
What? This is why we sent Trig in.
Yep.
Yeah, we sent Trig in.
Yep. It was a group. We huddled. We came with a plan and took the Super Bowl. That's what
We
happened.
decided to get eaten by a fish and be shat out by its gills, and then go and give blood samples to a mysterious dirty needle vendor.
Sounds like
Okay,
Star
so
Wars.
I'm still in the fish, so.
Yeah. I
I'm
don't
trying to
think
crawl back into the gills of this fucking boy.
Let me back in.
I'll take
Yeah.
the sexual room over this.
This thing is old. And basically you have a couple of options here. You're gonna have to reroute power from a few things. That's gonna take some time. And like I said, Trig is presented with multiple options, but can make this thing work. But it's gonna take a few rolls to get this thing up and running, and then a few rolls to get this thing, to get the doors open. Once you realize what it is you need to do with the successful computer's roll, the progress bar on the other screen is filled up. This time, instead of a giant green check, you get a giant red X. And then words that you don't understand show up. And it's got a flashing red background with these white words in front of them. Maybe give cause for some alarm. And then almost infuriatingly, you actually can hear Trig, you can see all the lights on the inside go from white to red. They all change color. Bink, 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 bink.
That wasn't me.
And there's a
He turns on the comms and he's like,
What did you do?
I gave it blood.
Why?
It asked. It asked. It
Oh
asked
yeah, it asked
for
real nicely by sticking its needle out of the wall. Needle.
Can I get perception checks from the 3 of you, please?
Absolutely.
Just against 3 purples. A little hard.
Man, it's been hard this whole time. I want easy rolls.
You don't need them. You've been
"Oh,
winning.
You got it though, Siam.
Oof,
Damn,
ogre.
Ogre's like on it today.
Cora maybe a little preoccupied with the fact that her blood maybe set something off, and maybe her blood is impure. Who knows? Whatever the case is. Meanwhile, Siam, being paranoid and Ogre being of a warfare mindset, begins to look around.
I'll give you 2 of those. I'll take 1.
Sure. You begin to look around. And what you see in the things that you pick up is that there actually is some movement coming from behind you, on the docks behind you. As you look behind, you actually see what looks like metallic arms slowly sticking their way out of the water and clasping onto the dock itself. And then another one clasps onto the dock itself. And then as it pulls its head above the water, a droid of a model that you're not familiar with, nor have you seen, begins to clamber its way out of the water and staying on all fours with a face, or rather a head that is lacking a face. It is just straight, smooth white, in the size of a Shadrafan, begin to crawl towards you like a human spider as a bunch of them begin to crawl out of the water and make their way towards the door.
A bunch of them?
A bunch of them. You see moss growing from them and seaweed tangled in some of their gears, causing even a few of them here and there to not even able to operate one of their limbs, climbing at you with 3 instead of the 4 legs. And they begin to scuttle at you very, very quickly. Can I get initiative rolls from everybody?
Absolutely.
Cora would knock on the
Clear-
door and be
clear-
like, I fucked up. I fucked up.
Meanwhile,
We weren't prepared, right? This is unexpected.
this is unexpected.
Vigilance rolls.
Like right before this, whenever you were like, well, it asked, Trig was like, well, that's fair enough. And then all of a sudden, you guys are like, I fucked up. What's going on?
Ogre, why do you have you had difficulty on your vigilance?
Oh, that was weird. It didn't affect the roll though, so I'll just leave it.
Do I have to roll initiative as well?
Yes, because you're gonna make computers rolls to get this thing open.
Okay.
During your
See how you're gonna modify that?
Vigilant.
Well, I can wait till I see what they're.
Yeah. Let me roll the packs, the different packs ones.
We are
So
not-
far, we have rolled shit.
You have. It's been unfortunate. Let's go ahead and use this guy right here. Sync with GM. Okay. NPC.
Be
1,
your guy.
2, 3, 4.
Ah!
Oh my gosh.
So I will burn a strain to add 1 to mine, so I'm now 1/4.
Okay.
So
I can
you
only
add
make
before
it
it's
2 at the most, so I still can't beat the first 2. So there's no point to expend that second strain.
Yeah, that's
So
fine.
you went from 0-4 to 1-4.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now I at least go about up before.
Oh, you got it. Did you just change it, Scott? I was going to change it.
I did not, but I will. I'll change it right now, and then I'll reorder it. That's fine.
No. Oh no, there it is. No, I'm good. Oh no, there you go. Okay.
I'm all over it.
Okay. Easy enough. No, I just went to go click it and it moved, so I thought
All
you had
over it
already
like
done it.
pineapple on pizza.
Okay. So, these are all currently considered within extreme range, all of them. And they're approaching from in front, on your left and your right, from different docks. They're kind of climbing up one at a time, but there's a lot of them.
No, you go first.
Oh, I just saw you go.
It's for everybody else.
Oh, okay. So, the first 2 groups, we're just going to go ahead and move them, double move them to medium range. Bink, bink. Let's go ahead and I'm going to grab some things so I can keep track here on the map. So we'll say medium. Don't worry, there's not really a map, chat. It's just like a little circle to keep us reminded as to where everybody is. And right now, yeah, that works fine. Let's get rid of that. Boom. Do you see that, everybody?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're dealing with. Each little miniature represents a group of 5, essentially.
Wade, do you want to go first, or should I be flicking on my auto fire?
I think you need to go because technically those 2 that are in range have acted. I don't get bonuses against them. They're so far away. The other ones are so far away. I don't think I can get in range and shoot at the same round.
So you want to be able to let them act out and then kind of move up and.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm not
gotcha.
going to get to use my bonuses, so I'll just say you go ahead because you can probably wreck these things faster than I can.
Okay. So it's an incidental for me to have my weapon out, or I could have done it during the surprise round, whatever. I'm going to flick it from my normal blast, because you said these are droids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Flicking it from my normal blaster to my secondary thing on, like the secondary barrel on my big guns. It's my ion blaster.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to aim once because it's all I can do. I only have 1 maneuver around because I still haven't been healed yet.
Okay.
I still have a couple criticals.
Oh,
on
that's
me.
right. Yeah. Oh, you
So-
could have maybe healed that on your flight, but Trig fixed
No,
your
she
hyperdrive
made 1
engine.
roll and did not get a.
Oh,
thing.
right. That's
And
right.
I need at least a week for a second roll.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. So it was only a 4-day flight. I was keeping track. So anyways, so I will aim once and take fire.
Okay.
What's the medium? And I'm doing auto fire, so that does increase it to 3 purple instead of 2.
Okay.
Okay. Any other modifiers that I should be aware of?
No, not. It's like it's Ogre's dream. You have a clear shot to everything crawling at you. It's flat space.
Okay. Well then, let me dream, Daddy.
Hey.
Dream, Daddy.
It literally is your dream.
Yeah, that is
Today
your
is
dream.
Ogre's day, man.
Living in the sunlight.
All right, what are you? How much damage?
I did not get to have enough advantages to trigger my auto fire, so I'll have to use the triumph to trigger the auto fire. So instead of doing 19 damage, I'm gonna do 19 damage twice.
Wow, that's crazy, dude. That's so much
Don't
damage.
send robots at Ogre.
So
So sorry, 18 damage twice. Sorry.
as these things begin to,
Literally, that is what me and Scott made our characters for. Because like my character doesn't like killing things, and his character like makes it so that he can bring all the body parts of like robots to me, so I can build stuff.
so
You made this gun for me.
Yeah.
it's a scene out of it's a scene out of a horror movie with these things clawing their way out of the docks and, like I said, remnants of this ocean on them, held up well for how long Trig at least assumes this place is as far as age is concerned, and they just scutter and scuttle towards you incredibly rapidly. Ogre merely just pulls out his gun, flips a switch. You can hear the rifle turn on, and just very professionally with the shoulder strap just dangling underneath the gun, levels it at stomach level and just begins to open fire. And every shot that leaves his gun is the most precise you've ever seen Ogre fire. It just blasts away at their heads or their bodies. You see electricity just ripple through their system. One drops, another drops, another. And as they get closer and closer and these waves of them keep crawling at them, Ogre on his lonesome is able to just keep them at bay and keep them at a distance. So much so that he's able to wipe out one of the first groups and the majority of the second group. That's 20. You did 19 damage twice, so almost 40 damage.
18 damage twice, sorry.
18 damage twice, so 36 damage, still almost 40 damage. You genuinely take out 39 of them as they crawl at you. And again, these things are crawling at
More
you.
than a few. 39 is more than a few.
I'm trying to think.
One,
Wait, no,
two,
not 39. I'm an idiot. Not 39. I'm doing the math way wrong. You take out
I was gonna say that's less.
you
than
take out 9 of them. You take out 9 of them as they're
that's
scuttling
1.5
towards you.
groups.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you take out one full group and most of a second group as you kind of blast through them as they just kind of collide with the ground, some falling back into the water, others just falling flat dead and maybe jolting a little bit through electricity as his ion shards power through them.
Is it a herd of spiders or is it a murder?
It's not a spider. It's not spiders. They just crawl on all fours like a spider in a weird way.
So if you guys look at Ogre, he seems to have this gleam in his eye that he's enjoying this maybe a little bit more than he usually does in combat, because every one of these Shadrafan looking things that he shoots down, he thinks of a conversation he was stuck in and could not get out of all the years.
The best part is, like I said, while they're the size of a Shadrafan, the head is expressionless. There's no features. It's actually a very stark, plain.
So it emulates his own feelings in those conversations.
I was gonna say it's Ogre is the textbook imprinting what he wants to see on a blank slate.
Shut up, Trig! Shut up, Trig! Shut up, Trig! Shut up, Trig! Shut up!
Okay,
You
so
broke your mic. You were so excited.
he was very thrilled. It goes to an NPC, one of the other NPCs. One moves into medium range. Now we got 3 PC turns in a row. So it's up to you how you guys would like to tackle this.
Well, Trig's locked in another room, so Trig will be just working on the door.
Yes. Basically, Trig's going to have to make rolls. Once she has X number of successes that are up here, the door will unlock. Or if she fails terribly and keeps it locked forever. So which one of the 3 of you wants to take the first slot? Cora, Xiam, or Trig?
Probably this guy.
Cora?
Probably.
Okay.
She would point at Ogre and say, "More like that."
Cora inexplicably falls in head over heels in love with Ogre in this moment as he watches Ogre annihilate droids left and right.
See how I'm looking at his 2 pistols like, these fucking things can't do that.
You are exceptionally inspired, of course.
Well, how many strain do you heal, dogs?
She healed 2, right?
That's 3 each.
Oh, 3 each.
That's nice.
All right. Cora, are you gonna move
Second he does it.
or anything?
No, I'm gonna wait for them to come to me.
Okay, so next person.
Perception check to hear it?
Yeah,
No, if she had done it, I think it's like line of sight. So who wants to go next? Trig, would you like to go next, or would Siam like to open fire?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
I'll shoot. We'll have Trig
Go
do
ahead,
the,
open fire.
do all
All right.
the fighting in a row.
So you got 2 within medium range of you right now, and 1 within extreme range that you can just barely see. One of the ones in medium range, though, is lacking most of the numbers that they started with.
I mean, I guess I'll just go ahead and finish that one because that one acts first. So I'll shoot the one that was running up quickly.
Was there no benefit to going for the one that hadn't acted yet?
I can't because it's still in extreme range.
No, but you have a medium range weapon, don't you? Can't you burn 2 strain to double move and then fire?
Can I move 2 bands and fire in the same round?
If you burn 2 strain, yeah.
Oh, then yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, give yourself an extra
You just
move
won't be able
action.
to aim or anything.
Yeah, you just open fire. So you're gonna put yourself within engaged range
Is
of
is there a point to that? Because it's just a blue die, which is the same thing I get from aiming. So I really would not be gaining anything else.
Up to you. I don't remember the stacked abilities of yours. I'm just making sure you.
Oh, doesn't it lower the difficulty or no?
It also lowers the difficulty, but yeah, whereas would still stay in. Yeah, you might be better off doing exactly.
I'm not gonna burn the strain. I'm just gonna take a shot at the one that acted first.
Okay.
Because it's not. There's like it doesn't. Quick strike doesn't do anything else.
You can't aim at that one. So.
Yeah, there's other abilities I can get, but I don't have them yet. So I'm just gonna aim and fire at
The injured one or the uninjured one?
the injured one, the one that acted first.
Okay.
All right, so that is medium range, so 2 difficulty, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm aiming, so I get a blue. And I've got a blue from Docs. Let us find where the devil my gun is. Listen, it's been a while, guys. Give me a sec. There it is. There's my gun.
Oh,
Do I need to wait, Scott?
no, you go. I have to figure out what disorient does.
Okay.
I can't.
You just like Ogre just wrecks them. Cora's like, yeah, more like that. All starry-eyed at him, and Siam's just like, I can't do that.
Fire warning shots. Pew, pew.
Yeah, I scared it off.
So what would you like to do with all that advantage?
Cry? I don't know. What can... Man, I could trigger a second miss.
You could also,
Can I critically injure the floor that I probably hit?
You can also hand it off to the next person.
Also, open it up open up the chart of what you can do with that.
You have options.
Oh, I need to. Oh god, I don't have that.
There's three things. It's in our handouts on the in Roll20. 3 can actually do something.
So 3 advantage. Let's see. That's starship stuff. That doesn't.
3 normally is for a crit, I think. Oh wait, no.
Well, it depends on
For
the
you,
person.
it'd be a crit, but you didn't succeed, so.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I sure didn't. Where's this guide? Where's the hell is this guide saved to? I'm so sorry, everybody.
You had 1 success. You would
negate. So here's what you got. Negate with 3 advantage. You can spend 3 advantage to negate enemy's defense bonus until the end of next round. Ignore environmental penalties until end of your turn. Disable opponent or piece of gear. Gain +1 melee or range defense until the end of your turn. Or force target to drop something they're carrying.
disable opponent. If they're droids, can you disable them? Or
I imagine what that means is that they would not be able to maybe move a band.
Yeah,
or 2.
I'll use 3 for disabling the one that I shot at. I imagine I can't do that for one I didn't shoot at, and I'll pass. That leaves me with what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
You still have 8? My God, my dude. Let's see. With 2 advantage, you can perform a free maneuver, create a setback dice for an enemy, give them a black die, or add a boost dice to any ally that you want on their next turn.
So I can give out 2 blue die and then just pass the blue to whoever goes next?
yes.
Yeah, so you can give literally everyone in your party a blue die on their next turn.
Yep.
They've all got one.
All right? Sweet.
Happy birthday,
Sweet.
everybody. You're welcome. Hey, it's Christmas here in the Siam household.
Happy birthday.
We've got water and blue dye for everybody.
All right, Trig. So you can hear over the...
You should have been water smugglers or whatever.
Right? Water everywhere,
Yeah, I
man.
could have had an endless supply in Wade's house.
That's true. Unfortunate, but true. Trig.
Hilarious.
You actually hear, like, you hear in the as you kind of pull the computer off the wall, and like I said, it dangles by the wires. Over the comms, you can hear them, I gave him some blood, and then suddenly blaster fire, and chaos is happening on the outside. And Trig now knows he's on a timer. They're clearly being attacked by something out there. So I'm going to need a computer's check from you against, initially, 3 reds and 3 reds. Wow, no, not 3 reds. Sorry, 3 purples and 1 red.
Okay.
But you get a blue from me, which you know will get you nothing.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Would you like to use a light side point?
Do we want to use a light side point, homies? Or just tempt fate here?
Let the wind be your guide, Maggie.
All right. We'll
The
let
less
the
of a
wind
chance you
guide.
have of success.
Are you going to make it more difficult for
you
me?
are to succeed.
I am not. I am not going to make it more difficult.
Okay. And this is computers, right?
Computers. You're like one of your best
Well,
rolls.
I guess I better speed this bad boy up.
But I think I get something else. So hold on. I have...
Kidding, making it more difficult.
Now you said that, the magic hang on words.
I have a tool, and I'm just gonna paste what it does in the chat. Um,
Malu,
does
thank
this
you.
count as maintenance? Like I'm doing repairs on this thing?
Technically, yes. I would say this counts as maintenance.
Oh, I get a boost.
I would give you a boost dice for that.
So it's a blue die, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Molly raid. Thank you, Molly.
Hi,
It's
Mom.
exciting. They raided while we were on break.
I know.
I think it might be a first.
Okay, so now I'll do my computers check. Here we go.
Wow.
Yeah! Holy crap!
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
What is that?
7 successes. Let me notate that. Where'd my pen go? I had
That's a
pen.
lot of successes.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Maggie, that was amazing.
I just need to
Thank
rack
you.
them up.
So,
7
yeah,
successes.
You're not allowed to
The
leave.
boost die.
We gotta
Good help.
keep you on for another month or year or two because we
Um,
never get rolls like that ever.
No. So Trig, you immediately start ripping wires off of unnecessary systems that at least you deem unnecessary.
Don't need that.
Redundant is not a word, Mike. Redundant. Other systems and whatnot. Yeah, redundant systems. And you begin to rewire things. It's still going to take some time, but you've made a lot of progress in one immediate batch of 6 seconds or so. That is your turn. Now we have the last NPC. They are just going to move in 2 bands as well. Now before anything else, okay. Sweet. You see more continue to climb out of the waters. More and more continue to just pour forth and make their way toward you. NPC number 1. Here we go. This one gets within melee range.
That one can't. I disabled with 3 advantage.
Cool. All right, that one can't. The next one can. He moves into melee range.
Didn't Scott kill that one?
There were 4. Then he reduced it to 3.
And then I
That's
brought
the
in a
uninjured
4th.
one.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
I
now
thought
he
there were
just
two
run a
that
fourth.
I
actually-
rolled in at the top of this initiative a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that one was 03, I thought. Never mind. You're good.
There, it does, whatever one I'm grabbing.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's good.
All right. This one charges in and immediately goes for Ogre here, looking to just. They look to claw at you as they come closer. And you actually can see much more detail. They're as plain as you expected. Actually, their legs and feet are clawed and sharpened. You're probably more concerned if this thing scratched you of a disease for how old these things are and how long they've been underwater. But there's no blasters on them. There's no energy tanks other than whatever's powering them on the inside. They have no range capabilities. They're there to merely claw you down and rip you apart. And that's very clear as 5 of them try to surround Scott here and just do what it can to hurt.
Do what they can to hurt. My what's my armor again?
I don't. Yeah, what is your armor?
My defense. Oh wait, no, because I don't have that equipped, do I? At the moment, nothing.
don't know.
You're rolling normal, I think.
I'm rolling normal. Whoops.
Yep, rolling normal. Okay.
Okay. Oh, I clicked off the wrong tab. Where did it go? Character, skill.
And this is not the one that I shot up before, correct? This is the uninjured one.
Correct. This is an uninjured one.
Okay.
There it is. Oh, I'm just an idiot. Okay. Against what am I rolling against? Just 2 perps? 1 perp? Can't remember. 1?
You're engaged 2 purples.
2 perps. Got it. Boom. Okay. Here we go. Okay. It does a total. And what's your DR? Do you have DR?
Soak is 4.
Soak is 4. Fuck. It does nothing to you.
Woohoo!
So these 5 droids just skitter forward very quickly and immediately start swiping and clawing at Ogre. However, those that connect can't even break through the shielding and the armor that he has just in place. And the rest, Ogre's able to maneuver, kick out of the way, or just push far enough away they aren't able to get any damage, true damage done.
I love the imagery of Ogre showing up with the Trig with all that damaged armor. Trig takes the armor and repairs it, and immediately Ogre gets a scratch right back across the armor again.
Oh, you're gonna pay for that one.
All right, first player. Who's going?
I would like to vote Cora because she might be able to end this thing in 1 hit. Because she's Cora.
Sure.
That thorn.
Do it up.
on it.
It gets me thorny.
You have no idea.
You get a blue dice from Wade, remember?
Oh, right. Thank you.
Hey, I got your back.
A shame. These things are just fast. They're hard to hit. They're like little animals.
Mike, don't make us feel better about this. They're not hard.
Yeah, just shut up and move on.
So she runs in. She goes for a quick swipe to try and just sever the cord, maybe powering it in its core, I guess, in general, but misses as it moves.
See, I'm shot backwards. She was holding the blade instead of the handle. We know what we did wrong.
Okay. That's not this one. That's one of the other ones that moves into melee range. This one will attack Cora. Cora, do you have no bonuses, defenses that give you any black die or anything like that in melee range, right? No, I don't think so.
Sure.
All right, cool. I'm going to use a dark side point to bump his ability to hit.
Awesome.
Go.
Do I sense sass?
She was like,
No.
really
When you
excited
sense
about
it,
that.
All right, dark side point. We'll go.
The more likely
down.
you are to hit, the more
One.
likely you're going to fail, Mike. That's how this game works. Never mind.
Jesus, what the banana?
Well, you know what, Doxy? Welcome to the critical club.
Oh no.
right.
I'm gonna die.
You need
No,
to-
no, you can't die on a roll. unless
Right.
you
They don't have
survive.
vicious or anything like that, so they don't stack their
Okay.
crit roll. They're just getting a hit on you. So before anything,
Wait,
do
are
you have any-
triumphs always for crits in this?
almost always you can
Unless
change.
they have other abilities.
Yeah, unless they have other abilities. Do you have any?
Soak
Do you have any
five.
soak? What's your soak?
5.
5. Okay.
Ooh. Whew.
You
Sexy.
are able to soak.
lot.
2, 3, 4, and that's another. You are able to soak all 5 damage that it does. That they do. 2, 3, 4. But do you still take a crit? You still take a crit, I think. So roll me your crit.
Scott, if you absorb all the damage, do you still take crit damage?
Yeah.
Because it's an
The crit
effect.
still
It's
takes
an
place.
effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. You take the crit, even if
It's not like D&D where
It's not
crit
like
just-
D&D. Yeah.
Hear
Where
you
if you don't
roll
take damage,
crit? This has never happened to me before.
Uh,
know.
Critical injuries.
You roll it, Doxy. There's a offset if he tells you there's one.
Yep, but there's no offset.
Okay.
It's just the critical injuries tab. Increase difficulty of all presence and willpower checks by 1 until end of the encounter.
All right.
Oh,
No
Whoop-de-doo.
that's not
Oh,
too
no.
bad.
It's nothing. Not for this combat, anyway. Okay, then it goes to the next 3 PCs that have not gone.
I guess I'll go first.
Sure?
Let me. I'll finish typing that afterwards. I am going to have to. So with my big gun, because of the sling, incidental throw it over my shoulder.
Yep.
Incidental pull the my hat off of my head, which is actually a Caillou shield or whatever it's called.
Sure.
I have my wrist-mounted gun
Mm-hmm.
prepared.
You're being attacked and Cora's being attacked.
Yeah. I'm going to. I want to shoot twice. I'm just going to use my wrist-mounted gun.
Okay.
I'm going to use my turn to aim. My one maneuver that I have to aim, and I'm going to fire at the one that is engaged at Cora, as long as it's also engaged with me. You know what I'm saying?
Say that again.
So I'm not going to shoot the one that's attacking me. I'm going to shoot the ones the group that's attacking Cora.
Okay, that's fine.
As long as we're all engaged, which I think is what he said.
You do run the risk of hitting her.
They're not grappled. They're just engaged. Does that matter?
Yes, we went over this last time. Engaged, you do run the risk of actually, but I think you have to roll a despair for it to hit, but I'm gonna double check.
Sorry, 'cause it's actually been a while since we've done combat in this game.
Technically, it's only been 2 sessions.
well,
Last session
right,
was not, and the
and-
session before that was all combat.
But that session was a while ago at this point. Like actually.
Oh
like,
yeah, IRL time, yeah.
Yeah. So we're a little rusty on the rules. Also, this house is so hot right now in this jacket, I am melting.
By the way, Doxy, unfortunately, you realize that fearsome wound, which by the way is the same one that I have,
Take
that
off
affects
the
your.
jacket then. Wait,
ability.
I'm
why?
completely naked under this jacket. I cannot.
What now, huh?
The critical hit that you got, it affects your leadership stuff.
Nuh-uh.
Isn't leadership based off presence?
Yeah, based on presence.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so whenever
Just to the end
you
of the encounter, though, then it's over.
it's only when you I'm right. It's only when you roll despair do you actually hit the person that's engaged with.
Then I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it right now unless I use a dark side point. So
Which, by the way, did somebody use the light side point earlier?
I use a dark side point. You guys should have 4 light side and this should
We
be 1
do.
dark.
Cool. So I'm gonna use the light side point to guarantee
Okay.
he doesn't do that. It's 2 purples I'm rolling against.
Yeah, you're engaged in what your wrist mounted gun is. What's its range?
Hold on. Its range is. Give me 1 second. Where's my wrist mounted one? Where are you? Wrist mounted. Its range is medium, so I've got loads of range. I'm fine there.
Yep, you should be good.
Its damage is way less than all the other stuff that I usually do.
Yeah,
So-
it's not your rifle.
And let me just double check my skill on it. Sorry, and then I'll be ready to go. So I am actually going to downgrade the difficulty by 1.
Okay.
I get the blue from him and the blue from her, and the blue from my aiming. I'm good to shoot.
You may fire.
You may fire when ready.
Wrist-mounted gun. Go! Oh! So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 points of damage. I'm going to use that.
man.
I'm going to use that triumph to do a critical hit against the thing. And the 1 advantage.
Wait, you do
I think
how?
I can just pass that as a blue die.
How much damage did you flat?
11.
11 flat. Firing into the one at Doxy.
Correct.
Okay, gotcha.
Correct. Yes.
They will have to roll a critical.
Yep.
They are still standing.
Don't you worry, we're gonna start hitting them soon too, Ogre.
So they just take an extra damage, basically.
Suffer 1 strain.
Why is it my
That's
previous
not like-
critical say a -8? What does that mean?
I don't know. It says critical
Yeah.
offset is 0.
Yeah.
Do
Oh,
NPCs even suffer
You
strain?
rolled a 47 and it took it down to a 1.
yeah. No, he's not wrong.
Wait, that's weird. Why?
Yeah.
So
I
it
don't
should be
know.
whatever a 47 is because it took it down to 1 because it says -8 by 10.
Total 1, yeah.
That's really strange.
So
Yeah, really
whatever a 47 is what the actual crit should be.
I'm trying to find that chart that.
Yeah,
Maggie
you go ahead
gave
and
us.
you go ahead and look at
Oh,
that.
I
I'm gonna
have it, yeah.
I'm gonna try and see if I can
Not to throw a rain and all over parade.
-8 times.
I don't know. Thank you, Wade, for the raid. I like the raid. All right, where's criticals?
Thank
Critical
you.
injuries. A 47 is head ringer. Add purple to intellect and cunning checks until the end of the encounter. That's even worse. But hey, that's what it was.
Let's see if that fixed it.
Yeah.
No, it only fixes it when I roll up to 8. For some
Mike-
reason, it's
Mike-
base
That's what it says.
head ringer.
I think
Yeah,
it's
gotcha.
because of a mistake that happened along the way. So just keep adding them
Okay, yeah, I'll just even it out.
back until it's and then set 1. Don't roll 1 more.
Yeah.
And then for the next one, don't roll it at oh, that may have been a bad thing. Yeah, heal that one. Sorry.
Okay.
And then under critical injuries, type in 47, add critical.
Okay. Yeah. That would have been
That should be
easy.
good. Bam.
Cool.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we
Thank you, Maggie, for the pace.
Yeah. Thank you. Little weirdly jank on the character sheet for some reason. Okay. So you do that with difficulty die, and then you do. Woo! You said you did 12. Jesus. Scared
I'm
the
sure they're
crap
gonna be
out of me.
doing lots of intellect and cunning checks, so I probably fucked it up. I should have just. whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Oh no! Oh, the book
Poor
broke.
book.
Everybody salute the book. Brr, brr, brr. So as Cora's going to attack and kick and try and strike them, you see Ogre quickly just throw his rifle over his shoulder and just kind of level his wrist at a couple of them, pops like 2 of them in the head. They collapse. Meanwhile, Cora's still fighting a few that are kind of surrounding her at this point. Next person in initiative, please take it away.
You want me to go? I'll go. We'll have Trig.
I don't think you've gone for a hot minute.
Yeah, I'll shoot and miss again. So
Yeah, we're kind of like doing the combat scene and then switching to
yeah,
me.
I thought that made sense, but you can go first if you'd rather, Maggie.
No, go.
Okay.
It makes sense to do the combat scene and then swap to me.
I'm aiming. I still have a blue from Cora. 2 difficulties. I'm shooting at NPC 4. No.
If you're shooting at the one that he just shot, NPC 5. If you're trying to shoot the one that he injured and is almost dead, that's NPC 4. And then NPC 2 is healed, and NPC 1 is at extreme.
I'm gonna keep working on 4 and let them deal with the ones
Okay.
that are engaged.
You only need to hit it. I'm just gonna spoiler. You only need to hit it once, Siam, and it'll go away.
You know, you don't have to say it like that. That's the boss one. So it was it dodged.
Yeah, of course.
There, it's dead.
Okay, yeah, it is dead. It is absolutely dead. We will.
I'm having even that's a pretty shitty roll.
Siam's happy, opened the pickle jar, and I'm like, I loosened it for him.
I mean, that's not a lie. Not a lie at all.
Listen, that would have been so much. No, it wouldn't.
So how much damage did you do total?
8.
8 damage. So you do a whopping 2 to that, and then the other 6 get carried over to pick your poison.
5.
NPC 5. So you
5.
Oh, good.
So you just pick out your blasters. You pick off the last one that was like very slowly crawling towards, very damaged from Ogre, having already kind of laid into that group already. And then you wheel your attention around to the ones attacking Korra and kill off another one, leaving 2 more just clawing away at Korra the best it can.
Blasters were wet. Had to dry them off. That's why I missed the first shot. We're good. Good now. Good now, everybody. Good now.
Trig, since you take the last slot of initiative, please go ahead and roll. You may downgrade the difficulty from making the red that was in it a purple instead.
Ooh.
For the massive success on the last round.
All right. And I don't get the bonus from.
Yeah, the blue die is gone from Sion.
But I get it from my tool still. And here we go. Computers.
Jesus Christ.
Nice.
8, 9, 10, 11.
I will take
8,
the stress,
9, 10,
I think.
11, 12, 13. 14 successes so far. At this point, you're able to get the console powered on. You quickly, as you realize, and you see the screen flicker to life and maybe kind of wipe the dust off of it so you can see it clearer. You hoist it back into the wall. Just sit it so you can, it's at, wonderfully, unlike every other terminal in the galaxy, it's at Shadrafan level. It's right at eye level for you. It works out wonderful. And at this point, now you start need to parse the code, figure out how these systems work. These systems are, as far as Trig can tell, thousands of years old. So how these things were programmed and made back then compared to now, it's a language in and of itself. So now the next parts of the role are going to be Trig trying to parse this thing together as the blaster fire does not cease on the other side.
Okay. When he lifts it up and he puts it on and he goes,
Perfect height. Why aren't all the panels like this?
Trig's in heaven right now. Meanwhile, we're in like wet, moldy spider hell.
Wet,
Eaten
moldy.
by her god. He's been eaten by his god. He's in heaven. Sorry.
Anybody else worships anything? Siam is not having any part
fuck?
of it for the rest of these campaigns.
Oh, that's not correct.
You're not correct.
That's also true. Let's go ahead and remove these beforehand.
That's an initiative.
You see another 10 or so begin climbing out of the docks and scuttering towards you. Now they're coming in bigger numbers and bigger numbers. It's clear that these things are not built for quality, just quantity. Top of the order. The ones that are already in melee are going to be the ones that start fighting here. Ogre, they swing at you first.
Have you been deleting the initiatives as you've been adding them?
Yes.
Because now you have
Yep.
2, 4.
I should only have 4.
You have 5.
Sorry, I should have 5, correct.
Okay.
Because I rolled in 2 more. It's going to be here. But yes, I have been deleting them as they've been dying off.
Cool. If they're attacking me, is this melee?
Yep.
Add a black die to the attack now.
Sounds good.
The PC should go before the other one that rolled 1-3, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
And also, if more are coming in, can I still burn strain to add another?
Like that. There you go.
I think it's supposed to be the beginning of combat.
I think the skill specifically says at the beginning of combat or beginning of initiative.
Just look at it real fast, wait.
Yeah, I'm looking.
'Cause
So number strain to add an equal number of success initiative checks. Strain suffered cannot exceed ranks in rapid reaction. It doesn't say when, it just says add.
It's more basic, so I think it's meant to be just like simple when you jump into combat.
Fair enough.
Okay. They got a black die. He's going to take a swing at you, Scott.
2 perps and a black.
Fail. The other one rolls a doxy.
God damn it! Kill that motherfluffer.
You soak it. Okay, and a PC.
I think we've been having Doxy go.
Yeah, I'll go.
Sure.
You guys still have another round with my blue, so I'm gonna wait on that and attack NPC 5.
Do it. All right.
All right.
I will pass that other blue on.
All right.
Oh my gosh, Taxi.
No, this has been my D&D experience. All I do is fail today. That's
You rolled a
all I
great
do.
inspiration roll, though.
That's
All
true.
right. One moves up 2 range bands. PC.
Wade, you can go next if you want to take that blue die. You need it.
Sure. All right.
Help Doxy out.
Yeah, I will shoot at NPC 5.
Okay,
which-
yep.
Does that increase? Is that still 2? Or
Yep,
what's
still 2.
All right. And I will not use a light side.
And you have a blue die.
Yep, I've got 3. I'm aiming. I've got the one from Docs and the one that Docs just passed.
Yep.
Correct.
So, no dark sides or anything?
Nope.
All right. Fires and miss. Fucking.
I just.
It's that we're rolling the worst purples imaginable today.
Well,
All right.
it's me
Sweet.
next,
I
right?
have a blue dice, Scott.
Well, no, it's an NPC next. They move in closer.
Actually, I'm gonna pass that to Maggie because
Then it's 2 PCs. You, Scott, then Trig.
Trig gets it because I don't like Scott.
Aww.
That's fine. So I have one from the whatchamacallit, the blah 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 year before. I'm gonna aim. I would love to pull another gun, but unfortunately, I only have one maneuver around because I'm still critically injured from days ago. So I'm gonna aim with my one gun
Okay.
at the uninjured guy in front of me. Take my shot.
Like, you can't make this. Look at the number of dice we're rolling.
I mean,
We're getting
yeah.
swarmed in on. Oh fuck me. Okay.
There's basically a wall of mechanical spiders, and we're shooting the wall behind us. There you go.
So
Okay.
that's 9 points of damage plus 2 critical hits against the one that's in front of me. Critical hits can, against minions, convert to just a dead minion, or we can apply criticals.
Okay.
So-
You do how much damage? I'm sorry.
9 flat.
9 flat, and I'll just have the criticals kill off 2. So 9 that almost. So there'll be 1 up in that group at basically essentially 1 HP.
Okay.
But you've taken out a majority of them. The ones that are around you, you said?
Yeah, they were uninjured prior, I
Yep,
believe.
yep.
Was it only a 4 minion group?
5 minion group. They're all 5 minion
Oh,
groups.
gotcha. Okay.
Yep. Just want to check something real quick, rules wise.
Yeah, check who designed this roll system.
That'd be Fantasy Flight Games. I
And they
Fantasy
did an
Flight
excellent
Games.
job. We love Fantasy Flight
Exactly.
Do not speak for me.
games. Maggie, do you like Fantasy Flight games? And Doxy, do you? It's a group vote, yes. Wade, you have no vote here. You're the weakest link.
Are they?
Goodbye.
Okay. So that was
How dare you.
Scott. Trig, you may make your roll this time against 3 purples.
All right.
Would you like to use a light side point?
I'm saving stuff because I want to be able to craft something at some
All
point.
right. I will use a
Don't forget
dark
your-
side point to upgrade the difficulty to add a red into there.
Don't forget your blue I gave you.
Damn it.
Just give me a second
Okay.
here.
Yeah, I already grabbed the blue that you gave me.
It's very helpful. The blues have been great.
Hey,
Alright,
your
so-
last one it did.
So go ahead and add a
You're the second blue die now.
go ahead and upgrade one of those purples to a red.
Yes. So it's 2
One
purple,
red.
1
Yep, exactly.
Cool. All right, here we go.
Spare. Damn it.
Oh,
No progress is made. However, you can give some blue dice if you'd like to hand out some blue dice.
Yeah.
You literally have enough to give everyone a blue dice.
All right, everybody get blue dice.
All right.
Everybody.
Everybody. Okay. Here we go. Top of the order.
Everybody in the club getting tipsy.
Okay.
Why are you adding more?
Because they're swarming you.
No, stop doing that.
No.
That is a really high initiative roll. Jesus.
That is a good. Wait, did I do it again?
You
How many
used
dice
it.
did
Yeah, I did it again. I used the wrong pool. because I'm an idiot. Roll20 is like having issues today, man. For me,
Nope.
anyway.
It's a user error.
No, not the dice rolling. It's just there's lag behind everything I'm doing. Okay, try that again. There we go. That's their initiative.
It's still rolling very well.
There we go. Okay.
I'd rather than roll well in initiative, though.
Yeah.
The NPC's been killing it.
There's another one. Extreme range. Okay. Here we go. All right.
Here
So
we go. One more time, everybody.
yeah. That you want to continue that, Scott?
Here we go. Here we go.
Move in. NPC 5 is going to make a brawl check, but not to do damage to you. Cora, as you're fighting these things off and they're trying to claw at you and clearly not doing any damage, their tactics suddenly change, and you can see it ripple through the group around you. They're no longer trying to claw at you. They're trying to get their hooks into you. They're starting to try and claw on top of you and grapple you and bring you to the ground. So there's no specific rules for grappling in the system. The way they suggest that it works, but they said for narrative reasons they didn't include grapple rules, which I think is kind of dumb. The basic brawl attack allows characters to deal damage to the target's strain threshold. So I'm going to be trying to just hit your strain and grapple you to the ground. The other way we could do it too is opposed brawl checks, which I prefer. So we're going to use.
I also prefer. Yes, let's do that.
We will be doing opposed brawl checks. However, the way this is going to work, the more of the groups that are around, the bigger a bonus they're going to get. So the more droids around them, the better their roll is going to be. Because by themselves, they have a shit roll. Okay. You don't have to have any purple dice in your pool. Just roll me a flat brawl check, Cora, as they start to bring you down. Okay?
Welp.
Well.
Cora, no.
Suddenly, so they start piling on top of Cora. They hook their claws into her shirts and they slam her into the ground. And there's a bunch of them, 3 or 4 of them, all crawling on top and holding her down. And they begin to slowly start trying to bring her towards the docks, very slowly as Cora's trying to fight them off. They're gonna do the same to Ogre. Ogre, please go ahead and give me a brawl check, flat.
No.
Please.
I would like to use a narrative light side point instead.
Okay.
So I'm going to use the point.
Okay.
And I want to think what terrible idea would be better.
You sound like me. I love it.
Oh no.
They start grappling at Cora and pulling away at her.
Yes.
Ogre thinks this cannot be good. And so he's like, he has faith that Trig is going to get us safely inside that door and fast. He has faith in Trig. Trig has always come through. It's his little womp rat, right?
Mm-hmm.
So seeing that we're starting to be overswarmed, there's nothing that we're not going to win this fight. They're taking over her and they're coming at him. He bashes one of them in the side of the faceless dome piece with the butt end of his gun, aims up, flicks back to blaster, and starts firing at the inside of the glass dome with a whole bunch of ocean overhead.
Huh. Why don't we take a break? And we'll come back for the final
Why
stretch.
are you always trying to kill the party?
Wait, the glass dome that's protecting you?
Yeah, that one.
Cool. All right, we'll be back.
That building isn't watertight, Scott.
Well, Ogre's not very smart.
Also,
sees that we're losing. It's time to start
He's
losing.
underwater, and the bubble of air that's protecting him from the water is gonna save his life, though.
He's
Listen.
not smart. He's not wise. He's what is it? Willpower. Cunning's a 2, so it's not that he's
We
terrible.
were just kidding when we were saying it was the final episode for Trig. It was the final episode for everyone else but Trig.
After the week I've had, if I die to a fucking flood, I'm gonna be pissed.
If it makes you feel any better, I'm in a similar situation. My what do you call it? My dishwasher, it like sprays out of my sink, and it was like all over my like countertop. And then my bathroom, the undersink is like flooding, but we can't figure out what it is. So the guy came over today and he just can't figure out what it is. It stopped, and then I don't know. And then our roof has a hole in it.
Jesus.
Nice.
Well-
Can you actually roll me damage, please, Scott?
Against nothing.
Yeah, no difficulty. You're just shooting straight up at the dome. So.
Do I get the blue die from Doxy's leadership or no for
Yeah, might as well.
Okay.
You actually get another blue from Maggie. Everyone got a blue.
Also
Oh,
true.
Oh yeah. I give everybody blue.
I
too.
don't want to give it to you, but you've got it.
No,
If
I
ever there was
appreciate
time to fail the fuck out of a roll, dude. I hate
roll
this
so
plan.
well.
Oh, 2 critical hits on the glass dome protecting us.
So this is a single critical hit with the
Okay.
blaster rifle.
I'll crit a 3.
But think about it this way: these are just Shadrafan, even if they're fake ones. Shadrafan can't swim. They're rat people. They're not.
I can
they're not-
swim.
You
They're not
watch
fish people, they're rat people.
you watch those robots climb out of the water.
But water pressure will
We
knock
live
them
on
out.
a planet with only water and tiny islands. They know how to swim. Just
but they're-
Trig doesn't
Right.
know how to swim.
Here's how this is gonna work. So we don't need to go to break.
No. Break is good.
So
Scott needs to pee. He said so. He needs
Yeah,
to
I
pee.
have to pee.
oh, okay, all right.
I
We'll take
just
a
got up in
break.
one piece because I was like I couldn't hold it anymore.
Sure,
I was
sure.
like I'm gonna pee my
Scott's
pants.
fault. Scott's fault, everybody. He has to pee.
All right, we'll be back in a couple seconds, a couple minutes, guys. Don't go anywhere.
Maybe that's why I thought it was a good idea. It's totally just
I could not survive off that.
Okay.
well, I was just
Ready? Sorry.
Mike's
All right.
like, shut up,
Hello.
guys. Let's go, guys. I said, here we go. Like 8 guys.
Oh, I want to kill you real quick. All right, here we go.
This is a
Yeah.
reminder. I
You
spent
You don't
a
even
light
have to
side.
kill us. Sky's gonna kill us.
That's what I'm saying.
I spent a light side point. It wasn't
You
like
did
some
spend a
sick
light side
Lord
What
point.
if
of
I'm gonna make a
the-
proposal? What if this is a farewell to Scott episode and we keep
Sweet. So,
Excuse me, Wade.
as
You're the guest here.
as Scott said, Ogre looks around, realizes that they are being swarmed. The numbers continue to climb, and Ogre is the only one doing any work here. Siam can't hit a fucking hole in the wall,
I killed one.
and Cora is desperately being overwhelmed and dragged to the water. Whereas Trig is on the other side of a door and can't do anything other than just work on a computer tablet, more or less. So, looking around, realizing they're surrounded by what appears to be a glass dome, just kind of, like he said, butts one with the butt of his rifle to give himself some space, points the rifle directly upwards, and lets it just rip, just auto fire into the sky. And you see every blaster bolt just kind of flying up willy-nilly, colliding with the roof over and over and over again. And for a brief moment, while you're still being attacked by these things, there's as though an eerie silence falls over the three of you, while all you hear is the mechanical whirring of the droids as they attack, until that silence is broken by an echoey crack, a loud one. As you look up and you see it echoing throughout, there is a giant crack running through the top of the glass, and it begins to spider out very slowly, as though ice, as though you're walking on a frozen over lake and you made one wrong step and you hear that telltale crack run through the ice. That's the feeling you get as you look above and you start to see water slowly begin to drip and trickle. The droids
You know, I had a
themselves...
house ogre in my house. I saw something similar to this. It didn't end well.
The droids themselves, at least the furthest ones away, begin to back off a little bit. Not in fear, they don't look back off and skitter. It's though once the cracks form, the ones in the back just kind of turn and then clamber back over the sides into the water itself, while the ones still engaged with you remain engaged in combat.
Trig, if there was ever a time, now is that goddamn time.
I'm working as fast as I can. I figured this thing out. This thing's got to be like 1,000 years old.
Where are we in initiative? Has anyone gone this round, or has this just been NPCs so far?
So that was Ogre's turn. He spent a narrative light side point on his turn. No.
Well, it's up to you. You can totally take my turn to do that. We were getting attacked. I was getting attacked, and so I spent a narrative to do that. Totally take my turn. That's fine.
I was under the impression that happened on your turn. I apologize.
You were attacking me, and I interrupted you with the narrative.
Oh, okay. Well, they're still gonna get their swing then. Not gonna get much likely.
Did I still need the brawn check?
Yeah. The opposed brawl checks. Yeah, because they're still trying to clamber on top of you.
Yeah, they are.
Hell yeah.
So I get this, but not that. Brawl.
Okay. They're trying to as well pull you down, much like Cora, but Ogre, you're too big and too well trained for this shit, and it's just too easy to kick off. So we're gonna back them. What can we say? So we'll say the next PC slot went to Scott, and he used the narrative light side point to do that. We'll say the next NPC is one of the ones that disappears and goes under the water. We'll go ahead and remove them from initiative and move him off screen. It's still a PC. So I'm going to be straight out with you, Maggie. You have 15 successes, correct, total so far. You need a total of 30 to get this thing finished. So you have X number of turns before the roof spiders and it begins to just pour water down on them. It won't be one turn. You'll have multiple turns.
Light side, light side, light side, light side.
If you want to take this turn, I don't know who wants to take it.
One of us should probably go and try to give you blue dice again.
Cora, Siam, and Trig are the three that need to go.
Yeah, that's not a terrible idea.
Up to you, Docs, if you want to go first or not.
If Cora goes, she has to make an opposed grapple check with them because they have her on the ground, so she won't be able to do much else other than try and
Maybe
fight her
I
way
should go
out.
first and try to
I
shoot.
could burn strain to leadership though.
Okay.
one additional.
It would give you an extra
Difficulty.
move, right?
Um.
Burn a strain, get an extra move action.
Yeah, if you
and
want to do
then-
that first, go ahead.
Okay.
So,
well, let's do the brawl thing.
Yep, let's
first.
do the opposed brawls first.
I
Okay.
am so scared.
You
Oh.
succeed.
Nice.
So you're able to fight your way off and kick a few of them off here and there. One of the injured ones, you just rip the wires out and it just goes dead on you, and you're able to kind of shove it off. And as you're clambering up, you take a strain to give yourself an extra move, and you push yourself up and say, "What? That is inspiring."
I'm
Yeet.
drawing a blank.
you just make the roll. Make the roll.
Okay.
Well, as inspiring as it seemed.
Wait, wasn't she supposed to get a blue die on her next roll?
Oh, I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, roll a blue. From
Aren't
Maggie.
I supposed to re-roll the whole thing?
That's
You
up to
are?
Mike.
That's the.
Where'd the
rule I
blue-
thought.
where'd the-
there it is.
Where'd the blue die
There
come?
she is.
Where'd the blue die
Maggie,
come from?
see?
Maggie
You
gave us
know
each
it.
a blue.
For
this
just
round.
screams, "Get these fucking things off of me!"
That blue die should have been on brawl then.
Yeah, it's already accepted success, you know. Hey,
I
listen,
see.
in
I
the NFL, when you do the next play, it's too late. It's
I
too
thought
late.
that blues. No, we've come across something like this before, and we were only allowed to use blues when we were attacking.
No,
I'm
it's
like
next
certain
it's
of
next
it.
roll.
It's your next roll.
turn.
Yeah.
My thing
Not
is-
a big deal. It
But
doesn't
it's
matter.
fine.
You triumph.
Okay.
You can hand the triumph to one of them and upgrade their next roll. Who are you going to upgrade? Siam or Trig?
Big.
Well,
My vote.
I would, go ahead and go with Trig.
Okay.
Trig.
Yes.
Triggy Trig light side dash shoot.
Okay. Am I going?
The NPC is going. The other NPC gets-
Actually, you've already got the upgrade. Let me go, and if I get bonus advantage, I can give you a blue
Okay.
as well.
True.
All right, you may go.
All right, I'm attacking. Whatever, I'm attacking them. They're all engaged. It doesn't matter which one I shoot at. I'll try to finish off 5 because 5's got to be close to dead, and then if I hit and do bonus, it'll whatever.
Sure, sure.
Just don't despair.
Thanks. I'll try my best. Okay. I'm tempted to light side, but I won't. I want to save those for you just in case or for emergencies later. So I'm just gonna shoot unless Mike's dark siding me.
I am not dark siding you.
All right. A hit. It's a hit. It's a hit.
You hit one.
There's
you
a
certainly hit one. And you finish off that particular NPC that was attacking Cora. Goodbye.
Hold on, he doesn't just hit one.
You can get a crit.
Oh yeah, he can
3.
do blaster or whatever it
You
is.
need 2 crits.
You could do 2 crits, but then you can't give me an blue.
Yeah, I think I'll crit. Well, can I crit one that if I do I hit another one at all? Did 5 damage? Carry
If
over to
you
another
crit one of them, damage will carry over to and kill one of them. AKA, you'll do 5 damage to one of them for free.
I can't actually just crit them. I have to deal damage. 'Cause
Well,
thought-
I use the crit because they're technically minion level
Okay,
class.
that's fine. Yeah.
There's no point in critting
I'll
them.
do
really.
1 crit and I'll pass a blue
Okay.
to Maggie, and then I still have 1 left, which just goes to the next person. So does that also go to Maggie then to give her 2?
Say that again.
We've never done that before.
That's interesting.
What are
I
we
don't-
doing? Sorry.
So he has enough advantage to specify somebody to give a blue to, and then it's just the next person gets a blue. He's
Yep.
saying, can he specify Maggie and then let the
no,
natural
you
one
can't
roll
do that.
over?
We have run into this before, and we said no, you can't do that.
Okay, so there's
Yeah,
your
I can't
answer.
double up
Okay,
that
well
way.
Maggie gets 1, and I'll give 1 to Docs.
Okay. Sweet. All right, Maggie, you're getting an upgraded roll, a blue die. You're gonna use the light side point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I'm going against 2 purple and 1 red.
Yep.
All right. Let's go. Yes.
Wow.
So I only get 2 successes there, and you said I have 14. This puts me at 16 out of 30.
Mm-hmm.
Can I use that triumph to make it so that I lower the threshold? from
I
30?
will let that triumph be equivalent to 10.
All right.
Does that make
threshold is now
sense?
20, and I'm at 7.
You're at 17. So
And then
next
with the
turn it could be
3
very, very possible.
with the 3 for a mechanics thing, right? No, it's computers.
Yep.
I can use uncover additional information is normally what that
You're not
is.
looking to uncover any information here. You're just
Yeah.
looking to splice, more or less. You're very close. Trig realizes, Trig sees that he's close to being able to unlock this thing. A few more firewalls to bypass or what have you, and you'll eventually get through. But as of right now, you've got
He just kind of shouts over the comms again, like,
I think I found something. I might be able to speed it up.
Did you use the upgrade that you got from Doxy as well?
Mhm.
yes. Yeah,
So
you
you
could
used
do
2 upgrades?
Are you
Mhm.
supposed to still be
Okay.
rolling against a red? I thought it was 3 perps and he upgraded you with
It
a
was
dark side
2
point.
purples and a red was my last roll. And then I
I
asked
think it's
again.
because the upgrade you with the dark side though, isn't it?
Whatever the point, it doesn't matter right now.
Okay, I was
You
just
still
curious.
succeeded. But we'll go to top of the order. Top of the order, the glass continues to crack.
I would like to suggest top of the order could be Maggie again.
Sure. You still got 3 NPCs to work through, though. Before we
What
get
did
there.
you do with the advantage, Maggie?
I can't do anything with it, so next person can have it.
You can specify one and next person. So. Okay.
I guess Siam and Ogre, then everyone gets a blue.
Sweet, thanks.
Because Doxy
Thank
got
you.
one from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The water is beginning to pour through the glass as it continues to spread. The drips have turned to steady streams and trickles, and the cracks themselves are spidering out even further. They're stopping at some of the rivet areas, however, so it doesn't seem to be going beyond a certain section of the roof, but it is starting. As the water begins to hit, another one of the groups of droids also begins to back off, moving 2 bands away. They just, whatever they were doing, whether they're trying to pull down Ogre or swinging at Ogre, all their attack functions cease, and they just very patiently turn and begin to climb away towards the water. The other 2, however, continue to swing. After Cora had broken free, as she stands up, these 2 are just going to, this one group is just going to take a regular swing at Cora. And I will use a dark side point to upgrade one of their attacks to try and
You're
hit.
really trying to kill me.
I'm just trying to hit you. I haven't done like any damage.
You critted me, motherfucker.
You soak all that damage. Yeah, I crit you once. You soak that damage. And then same thing for Ogre. Ogre, they're going to keep trying to pull you down.
Does that black die apply because of my shield? I assume not, because you're not doing a standard
No,
attack.
they're not doing a normal attack. They're just doing opposed brawl checks.
Fuck me. All right.
Give me your brawl check, BB.
I got a blue from Maggie as well, correct?
Beat that, bitch! It's only a
I
success right
don't
now.
want to roll that.
Oh my gosh.
What does the triumph count as in opposed brawl checks?
I don't
It
know.
technically counts as a success and 3 advantages.
I almost beat it.
Almost.
I almost matched it, I should say.
Ogre, after firing away and taking out a bunch, succumbs to the clawy
You didn't get a
hands.
turn.
What do your first turn annihilated waves of droids.
Your mom annihilated waves of droids.
Hey. And so you get pulled down and pinned to the ground, and they at this point, however, they too are going to try and drag you away to the best of their capabilities anyway. But now it's PC's turn. Would Trig like to go first?
I think Trig going first would be wise, because if he can pop the door, then we can scramble in.
Dean wants you to check your Discord.
I
Me?
was typing it in chat.
I don't know how to subtly say
Dean
that.
Cuddy, we're busy.
Dean Cuddy needs us to stop everything.
Oh,
Check your
I
Discord.
see.
Back in your hole, Dean Cuddy. It's 5 a.m.
Naughty Dean Cuddy.
Ruining our dungeons times.
Seriously.
My immersion is broken.
You're fired.
We're currently role playing, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Goodbye, Dean.
Get out. Get out. Get out.
Can Trig go next because Trig passed a blue to whoever goes next last turn? So would Trig get their own blue? Or does that still just go to the next person who's not Trig in the turn order?
It would not. You can't. I don't think you can give a blue to yourself because it says other player.
I can't
Okay.
give myself a blue.
Right.
So whoever goes next gets a blue after Trig, and then Scott also got a blue.
Okay.
Okay. So Maggie, would Trig like to roll first?
Do you guys want me to go first?
Yeah, because if you get the door open, we're all gonna scramble in. I think was the plan.
Okay.
But now Scott's grappled, so
So this is against 3 purples. I made it harder for myself last round. You're right. Or are you gonna use the dark side point? I'm gonna use the light side point, so you can't use it. Yeah, right.
I don't get a choice.
I love that rule.
I'd suggest downgrading so there's no chance of a despair right as you win.
There's no reds.
No, he's okay.
No,
There is
there
one.
is a red. There is a red. I'm keeping
Yeah.
the red specifically for a reason.
Yeah,
Also,
just
a red
downgrade.
can wipe out more than one success. as
So it
well.
is supposed to be 2 purple, 1 red.
2 purple and a red.
Definitely
You can
downgrade that. My
red
suggestion
now,
would be.
that light side if you want.
Okay.
I agree,
I will
honestly.
downgrade that side. Yeah.
I wanted to spare.
He's gonna fuck
Well,
us
too
last
bad.
second.
Here we go. I just have 1 blue.
Here we
I
go.
didn't get any other blues from
Here we
anybody else.
go. Not this round.
Here we go. Yeah.
That's
like
literally
exactly
Perfect
that's
20.
exactly how much you needed. That is the minimum that you could have rolled. So after, you can hear the blaster fire, there's a crack, you hear the thundering boom of glass
Can I open
cracking.
the little door first, and I can just be like, wrong one, and then I had to open the big one.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, exactly. So you open up the small one first and be like, hey, and you actually see water coming down. Droids are actually retreating. Ogre is being pinned down by like 3 or 4 of them.
I only failed once.
Yeah, that's so you lost the grapple. You're being pinned down. It's not D&D pinned rules. It's freaking just Star Wars narrative pinning. So
That way to
Trig's
get
like,
pinned,
oh,
we were in the fleshy fun sacks of the fish.
exactly. So Trig, pulls back, door shuts, tips a bunch of code, and then all of a sudden you hear the noises of the hydraulics of this giant blast door slowly crack, and then slowly but surely open. Ogre is still pinned, however. Who goes next?
Not ogre.
I'll go, and I'll try to shoot the one that's pinning Ogre.
There you go. Take that free blue.
Yeah,
Don't miss, Siam.
I will not. So I've got a blue, the free blue,
I wish
alien
Trini
blue,
was in.
Doxy blue, 3 blues.
Mm-hmm. Are you using a light side point?
I might just to make sure I don't. Huh?
I would suggest it. How many do we have?
You have 2.
2.
I
But I
would
don't
say.
want to hit you.
I would say yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna use one to make sure I don't hit you, but also I want to get this thing off you so we can fucking run.
What do you think? What do you think, Doxy? I'm the only one pinned, right?
Yep.
You think you light side point's a good idea?
To become unpinned?
No,
For him
I've
to
got to use
unpin
it to shoot Scott's monster without it. Basically, to keep myself from. If I don't do this, Mathis will probably use the one to get a red.
I'm definitely planning on using a light side because I haven't hit anything yet. But if you do, then I won't have to. So I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna use one just to make sure I don't hit Scott. I'm gonna try not to hit Ogre.
Okay.
We still have one left, Dox.
So I'm going to upgrade 3 blue. For the love of God, don't miss.
Oh boy.
Everybody gets a goddamn blue, I guess. I don't.
Oh my god.
How does
Wait.
that happen?
Wait, how do you suck not so hard?
And you used a point too. That's so crazy.
All right,
Well,
Cora
I mean-
and Ogre, who goes next?
Did you remember to upgrade?
Yeah, oh yeah, I did.
Yeah, you can
Right.
see it.
I've
I'm
got
gonna
8
go next.
goddamn dice against 2.
Yeah, Shadow Flame Blade has a good idea. We should have a shoot command for every missed shot that Wade makes.
I'm rivaling Kyle tonight.
Yeah, in memory of Kyle, Sion misses a shot. That's your.
I didn't crit you or hit you, I guess.
I have to do it. Like I have to use it.
Okay. You attack him.
Wait! You attacked.
We're gonna
You
get
still have
wrecked.
your maneuvers. Do you back off?
Do you head
the
into the door?
Oh, I will. I'm not gonna burn. Like I don't know how far are we from the door. Would I have to double move to get to the door? or-
No, you can get in one maneuver.
I want to get to the door, but I don't want to go in.
You're
yet. I
technically engaged with the door right now.
Oh, okay, cool.
You guys have been fighting like backs up against this building, more or less.
Yeah, I'll retreat into the door, but I will still try to stay where I can shoot out of it.
Sure. I mean, you can
Doorway,
step
yeah.
into the door, and it's a giant blast door. You can just shoot out the door as you pass.
Oh, I thought it
through.
was just a little tiny trig-sized door. There's a
Well,
bigger-
there was a big blast door and a trig-sized one that opened in the corner that she went in.
Yeah, I
and
thought
then she
just the
opened
trig one was open. Okay, yeah, the big. Yeah, I'm gonna step in the door.
Okay, easy enough. Okay.
Yeah.
So you step into the door. Who goes next, Ogre or Cora? Cora, did you use the light side? So you're going.
No,
So
I
you...
jokingly opened the small one and then
Yeah,
opened
exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right, so Cora, you're gonna attack the ones pinning Ogre. You may make your roll. Would you like to? You use the light side point, so you're gonna go ahead and buff yourself or what have you.
Yeah, I did. I upgraded.
Go right ahead.
Fingers crossed, everyone. And I'm attacking the one that's on Ogre.
Yes,
obviously.
you're trying to get him unpinned.
Finally.
Okay.
That's a triple crit.
That is a triple crit.
Oh, that is a triple crit because you fucking.
That's
Damn.
a triple crit.
And not only is it 4 damage, but it also has piercing.
Moss
too.
spider.
Because of the crit is the reason that she's able to get these things off you.
Nice.
The insane amount of crits that she has.
Doc, yes, Doxy.
She has
Doc-
2 vicious too.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So, very quickly, Doxy, with the thorn out, you see Cora take 2 big steps over after having broken free with hers, severs the head of one of them, and as that one goes sailing, you see her jut the thorn into the chest of another as it flickers and powers down, and uses that body to slam into one of the other ones holding his legs as it goes tumbling, and then as the last one is just trying to back up and defend itself, in one swift motion, you just see Cora sever some of the wires by its gut, and it too just kind of falls limp. Its legs still twitching, but the upper part of its body inactive and unmoving, freeing Ogre up from the 4 that were pinning him down.
Nice combo. I'm glad
I
I
would
distracted
actually-
with my shot.
I would actually grab Ogre's hand and drag him to the building after that.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, we could say that happens on his turn. You just reach down and just
I still
grab
get my
hold.
movement.
Yeah, but he's
That's my movement.
yeah, I'm aware. But he's
Okay.
also weighs weight. But I'm just saying narratively, we can say on his turn, you just drag him away and eat up his turn to
Okay.
do so.
I'm really glad he was pinned and did not see me miss those shots.
Oh, he saw you.
Oh, I saw.
His eyes weren't closed. He didn't do. They
Yeah,
weren't.
he
They
was
were. They,
trying.
they weren't little. They weren't little like robot claws keeping his eyes shut.
So, Mike, am I next?
You are technically next. Yes.
Okay, cool. She's dragging me with her maneuver. She's dragging me into the room. I use my one maneuver to draw a grenade, and my one action to roll it out the door.
As the door's going up.
Yeah, or however it's shutting, because they're right there.
Okay. So Trig's on the other side. Hurry up! And Cora's like, ugh, dragging this big dog creature as he's letting himself just be dragged as he's reaching into his pocket, probably half propped up, sitting on his ass, being dragged from on the underarms, and pulls out a grenade like he says. And as the blast doors are going up, we just see Ogre kind of lob it. And as they kind of close, and you hear the 2 metallic slats collide with one another, there's that muted poof of a grenade going off on the other side. And the 4 of you are on the other side of the door. And as some time passes, as you gather yourselves and stand up, you can actually, as Trig says, what happened? The glass, you can hear it shatter, and you hear the rush of water come crashing down on the outside.
Immediately, Trig looks at all of you and is like,
What did you do?
I
did
hate
he
your gods.
do?
I hate your gods. Anybody else have gods that I should know about that I can hate?
Cora
Because
puts her
Hey,
hands
stop
up,
talking like
shakes
that.
her head.
That kind of talk is what makes that happen.
No, it's all right. He can go ahead and worship me since I know he doesn't think too kindly as of now.
I'll worship.
Trig,
Give me one of
don't,
those grenades. I'd like to swallow one.
Trig, don't you worry none. I would just like to suggest we do not open this door, or perhaps any other doors, without checking the other side first.
All right.
Check the other. Do you hear that? That is the entire ocean on the other side.
I'm gonna look.
Get out.
I'm gonna look around.
Much
and
like
hope
yeah.
to find some kind of escape vessel.
as you look around, much to your disappointment, perhaps.
tube, a tunnel of
It is a
nothing.
tube that just goes straight. There is nothing in here.
Cool.
It just leads dead ahead.
So I'm gonna turn and
That's
half
my
state,
action.
half ask to Trig as we start like walking. So Womperat, this seems like it might be some sort of military or research facility. That being said, I imagine there's contingent escape locations.
There
Perhaps.
might be.
Yeah, you know what the escape is? They turn us into Chadrafan spider robots.
I think you just probably initiated the security.
Yeah, by sacrificing blood. Yeah, but the dirty needles. I knew it was a
You
bad
know.
idea.
Some people use eyes, others use blood.
Yeah. I love your culture. I'm very
I'd ra-
respectful of your sacrifice of us.
Sorry. I'd rather
Trig
you
like
take
looks
a
at him
bit of-
confused because I think he doesn't understand what the word sacrifice means because the word sacrifice does not mean the same thing to Trig as it means to them apparently.
Well, shall we walk into the slaughter room?
So you, I imagine you have this.
What kind of beings do you think we are?
Apparently, you don't even know. He'll just like angrily say as he like starts walking down the hallway.
Trig like puts his hands out like what and looks over at Siam like
What's he on about? Who's slaughtering who?
Murder robots. Murder robots. And
Security
now,
droids.
murder robots.
Are you guys all alright?
he's looking at Cora and Ogre while Siam's like walking down the hallway.
You'll see Ogre's big slash in his chest piece again.
I think that's probably that's why Trig asks if you guys are all right.
I shrug and say, if I might be a bit honest, I have a dark side and foreboding feeling ahead of me.
That's because they're murder robots.
Security droids.
And so you all progress down this dark hallway. Well, it's lit, and much like I explained to Trig, it's sporadic lighting. A lot of the lights don't even work anymore. They've been around for so long, and they're so old. And it goes on for hundreds and hundreds of feet. You continue to walk until eventually you come across what it seems to be a circular centralized room that also has the tunnel you came from and 3 others that would represent probably the cardinal directions of north, south, east, and west, all leading to various parts throughout. And in the center of this room sits a levitation shaft, like an elevator. It's a clear tube, and from here only goes upwards.
Like by clear you mean we can see the
Yep.
ocean on the other side?
No, you can just see there. You can see the tube that runs up the middle of the entire building. There's no ocean. It's just a clear tube in the center.
You hear a rushing sound.
Yeah, just water comes pouring in.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, looks like there's a lift here.
Yeah, they've conveniently given us one way in, one way up, and murder robots at our back. So I guess we've only got one way to go.
Hey,
because
there's
somebody
4.
got home.
There's 3
As you
other
say that-
options.
As you say that, Trig goes
Well, I'm sure there's probably more security droids inside too.
and he walks into the elevator.
I look around for another piece of glass.
none
There's
in
the
here.
tube.
The tube. Other than that, so as you go in, and you once again Trig realize, oh, this thing's not working either. Can I get a computer's check as you fiddle with the wires?
What's the difficulty?
2 difficulty, 2 purple.
Oh, looks like this one is out of service too. Gonna have to mess with it a bit.
Is there
Give me
anything
a
we can
moment.
use in here to make breathing masks and just go out the door and swim back?
It's a lot simpler than what you just messed with. It doesn't take
Takes some
long.
time.
Maybe like a couple minutes, 3 minutes or so before you're like, oh, and the screen flickers on. And there's
There we go.
3 options. The floor you're on now, the second floor that's labeled science, and the third floor that's labeled command.
Well, we got a couple options here. We can stay on this floor, or we can go to the science or command station.
Oh, okay. Get experimented on or get shot. What do you guys vote?
Probably
See,
command, I would say. That probably gives us the most information. We might even be able to get a blueprint.
At least with shooting, we can shoot back. I'm not becoming one of those robot monsters.
Oh, out of the way, Siam. and I step like the shoulder ahead and walk in the front with my big gun out.
I look at Siam and I'm like,
It would take a long time to make you look like one of those things. But we can make it happen.
No. See, I'm gonna do a perception. I'm gonna look around this room and see if there's like a
Sure.
maintenance hatch or like a some other way to go other than through this tube?
Well, like I said, there's 3 other
a
options.
secret wall. No, a secret one, not the obvious ones.
Oh, okay. Go right ahead.
All right, what am I rolling against for that?
You may roll against 2 purple.
Just 2 purple.
A maintenance hatch, a secret door, anything that's not this goddamn tube or those 3 tunnels of death.
Probably because there's not one.
So Siam leaves the tube for a minute, drags his hand across the entire circumference of this giant circular room, and then makes his way back to the elevator, a little disappointed.
Yeah, that's why I was like, why is that roll so low? Probably because there's not one.
Up we go. And he will draw his pistols, and we are not holding back shots this time, Trig.
Hey,
Trig, where would you like to go?
maybe you should because it looks like you guys might have made a giant hole that made the water come through, and now we don't have a way to escape.
Which one did you hit? Science or command?
It's a command.
Okay. The doors slide shut, and the elevator begins to move upward very, very quickly. Turbo lift. That's the word I'm looking for. The turbo lift begins to make its way upward. Can I get a quick perception check from all 4 of you as you pass science?
What's the
Against 2. Clear tubes. Siam, okay. Trig,
Ooh.
okay.
Got 4 successes.
and they were. Woo!
A failure, triumph.
A
Good job.
triumphant failure.
Yeah. So Siam and Trig, as you're flying, it's moving very, very quickly. Things are moving at a blur. But as you pass the science floor, Trig, you actually see quickly. It's like a blur, but you see what looks like droids carrying stuff around. You actually see movement happening on the 2nd floor. Siam, what you see is what you're pretty sure was a pile of bones. And then you kind of right up to the command floor.
There were bones there. There were bones there. There were bones
Did I see
there.
bones?
You did not see bones. You saw droids.
Damn, I
I
think
didn't
it's
see any
really
bones.
important that we stay calm.
I didn't see any bones. What you
I
on
got
about?
eaten by a fish.
There were some
Got
droids
out of a
down
fish.
there.
And now we're fighting spider monsters, and there's a pile of bones next.
There's no bones. There were some droids.
Trig is gonna hit the science.
Okay, so the door
Start
opens,
taking us back down.
and then you hit 2 for science. The door shuts again before anybody can step out, and the
No,
turbo
no,
lift begins
no,
going
no,
down
no,
to the 2nd floor.
No.
You travel for a little while before you're back at what is considered the 2nd floor, and the turbo lift comes to a stop.
Bones, right there. See? Not the bones.
And as he points,
Droids.
there are droids moving around, carrying around looks like crates and other things that are kind of in the hallways beyond. But in here, in this little lobby area, no, he's right. There's a few bones lying around. Not piles of them like he thought he saw, but there are some bones actually laying around.
Never mind, you were right. You saw some bones.
I'm gonna press the button for command.
Door shuts, you go back up.
Cora's gonna hold Siam's hand. just like rub the back of it and try to calm him down. Like just trying to be a little motherly and comforting right now.
He's making sure his guns are not set to
Trini,
stun.
He's moving in on your man.
Don't. Trini
I don't
doesn't
think
know.
he notices.
Trini ain't
He's
here.
like right now, he's like anything that moves, he's ready to shoot.
So you get back to the 3rd floor, the doors open, and before you is just like a little, a very short hallway, maybe 10 or 15 feet in length, and then a door that leads into a room that is very clearly locked.
But aren't you curious what that was?
Let's have a vote here. Who is curious about becoming a pile of bones?
Trig raises his hand.
I'd
How
like
we
to
get-
find a way out of here, Trig.
How-
I'm very scared.
How do we get out of here? What's the purpose of being here? And those kind of questions
Oh,
are.
purpose. Well, since
Trig,
we're all god
that's-
worshippers here, let me tell you the purpose: to be murdered and experimented on, and have our bones lie in the lobby.
That sounds more like
Oh,
speculation.
hush, hush, hush.
I will say, and Trig starts walking in through the next tunnel or like
Little
whatever,
hallway. Yeah,
hallway.
I will say that it does remind me a little bit of some of the stories I've heard. There were, a long time ago, some wars that happened, and this is kind of giving me those feels. Maybe this is one of those underwater tunnels like you were talking about, Ogre.
Siam just looks panicked. Ogre seems nonchalant.
I guess
Cora
we're
is
gonna look
also
around and
scared,
look for
definitely
either signs that say like command,
Yep.
control, or whatever.
So, the way this building was structured, it got narrower and narrower as it got to the top. So you assume you're at the top of the building for this. It's only 3 floors. And the little hallway that leads to this door, what Trig imagines just from the architecture and the layout of this building is beyond this door is probably the command center, that this is where it's at. However, it's locked in its current state. So Trig will need to be, as always, do some computers checks to get this thing unlocked and working.
Well, it's locked.
It's going to be against 1 red, 3 perps.
I'd expect it to be, I suppose.
Please, Trig, get us out of here.
Nice.
I throw you a bone, but I didn't grab any.
And is this gonna be like I'm repairing it or no?
It's going to be like you're repairing it. Yep. Much like the
Okay.
last one.
Don't forget to heal your stress
So I
from or strain from these guys.
Oh yeah, how many do we get from each of these? 1 or 2?
One, but there was one earlier that healed
Cool.
3 each.
I'm back at 0, so thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not, but
I feel like I'm self-inflicting strain at this point.
all right, here we go. Woo!
Wow. Look at all those dice.
Yeah.
It takes Trig like a good 30 minutes of just sitting down, setting up, and cracking through it. Because Trig, as you try to splice this and work through the code is actively working against you. It's trying to patch up the holes you found faster than you can get through them and exploit them. This is much higher than the security that you were dealing with just 2 floors down. But after a good long time, eventually you're able to outpace this thing and you're able to crack it. And the red light goes to green, and the door opens, but not easily or as swiftly as before. It seems to try and slide open quickly, but it gets itself jammed and it begins to fight a little bit. And the gears themselves never allow the door to open fully. Just a big enough of a crack where Trig could fit, but the rest would need to strength check or brawl checks to kind of really force this thing open.
Can we see through the gap to see anything?
You can, if you do. Who wants to peep? Because it's like a slit. So
Yeah.
whoever
Trig
looks
could probably
through
see 'em.
what you see, perception checks.
Trig looks at the top or Trig looks in the bottom and Siam's in the top. It's one of those like cartoon moments.
I'm not gonna do anything else tonight. I'm just gonna defer to the party.
This is where I'll use the
Oh.
triumph for my previous
I
perception.
critically failed.
Wow. All right.
Siam, your leg's in the way. I can't see.
Does anybody else want to take a peep? Ogre? Cora, what about you?
Cora's kind of in the back.
Okay. So Siam and Trig, as you guys are looking through, it's actually a pitch dark room that there are some flickerings of lights from what look like possibly monitors. But it gives, every time you look, it is giving a silhouette of a chair that's sitting in front of all these monitors. Not terribly surprising for a command center, but beyond that, you can't really see anything else. Ogre, you see the same thing. You see the silhouette of a chair, a much shorter chair, and a bunch of computer screens that are flickering on and off that don't seem to be able to maintain their power. But in that flickering, you also see what looks like a piece of cloth, maybe belonging to a sleeve, dangling over the edge of one of the seats themselves. Moreover, you also think you see a thick wire coming from that underneath that cloth, or at least somewhere around that cloth, that leads to behind the chair that you can't see.
I don't think Trig has anything to modify vision. Do you, Trig?
Not to modify vision, I have I can see the value of items. I can look at something and
Yeah.
know how much it's worth.
I hand Trig my hunting goggles,
Okay.
which removes like darkness and shit like that.
Sure.
And I hand Trig the hunting goggles and say, "Look right over there," and I point to the shit that I see.
Okay. You may reroll your perception check at 1 lower difficulty and 1 blue die. Now that he's pointing it out physically, as well as giving you some goggles.
Okay. 1 lower difficulty and 1 blue die.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I'm going to perception check. I
Okay.
got 1 success.
You actually see exactly what I described to him.
Yeah, there's something over there.
Is it death or a murderess?
I mean,
Ignoring
it
him,
might
I
be a
say,
it might be a person. Can't really tell from here.
"Nah, I think that's more of a bit of clothing. Would you like me to go check it out?
All right.
Watch my biscuits." And I leave the goggles.
Can I get an athletics check for against 3
It's hard
purples?
not to. It's kind of pretty big.
From Ogre, please.
Athletics check against what?
3 purples, please.
Why so many?
Because it's a tiny slot.
No, you're a tiny slot.
That's what he said.
Give me your roll, boyo. You try to fit, but you can't. Yeah, you can't get it open.
It's like when you're a kid and you have the square piece or the cube and you're trying to fit it in the triangle spot. It just doesn't quite do it on your toy.
With square peg, round hole. Oh, I was just thinking of the holiday.
Would you all like to try and like physically and forcefully open this thing further?
Trig's just gonna walk in.
Nope. Siam's just got his guns ready.
Okay.
Ready.
Siam's got his guns ready. Ogre can't get this thing. Oh, squeeze himself in.
What's the check to open it?
Trig's gonna walk in.
How many people are helping? Is it just Ogre?
I'll assume just Ogre unless Cora.
Cora's prepping the thorn.
Okay, so just Ogre. Ogre, it's the same roll
And Trig will just walk in, so. he'll
because
be like,
athletics uses brawl, so it doesn't really matter.
Try not to break the thing.
Actually,
all right?
give me a brawl check against 3 purple if you're just gonna brute force this thing open. Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
So you're able to. All the while, Trig kind of meanders in, and after a little bit of while, you hear like the creaking and screeching of metal against metal until you open it just enough where you could definitely fit through Ogre, and there obviously the other 2 can go through as well.
Yeah.
But Trig, you walk in
I'm
first.
going.
As you actually move in and step forward, the motion seems to set off some motion detector, and lights flick on. 2 of them, but one flickers for a little bit before it fizzles out, and just one lights up this area well enough. I'm assuming shortly right after Trig, Ogre, and then the other 2, just so I know everybody's in the same area. Trig, when you pass the chair, there's like maybe 10 computer screens before you. Most of them are off. 3 or 4 of them are flickering on here and there. You really can't catch which information is being put up there without spending some time to get them powered up. But as you turn the corner of the chair and look at what is ever sitting there or is taking its place with a wire and a cloth dangling, what you see is actually horrifying. It is a Shadra fan. Long dead, probably.
You hear the gasp. You hear like Trig go, ah!
I only say long dead probably because it hasn't decomposed. It is discolored. Its fur has fallen from its body, and its veins are a bright neon green that you can see running throughout its entire body. Moreover, wires are attached to it, cords flowing from the central computer system into the body itself. Some run up along the arms while others run along the back of its head. Its eyes are swollen and bulged, and its mouth is left agape because they're so swollen it can't close its lips fully. It is bloated, and as you look closer, can I get a medicine check?
Yeah.
Against 3 purples, please?
Trig is squealing like a bunch of high-pitched words that don't make it, like in his Chadrafan language. Ugh.
Should I be doing the medicine check or is Trig doing it?
Trig
Trig's
sees
doing
it. He's just seeing.
Now.
You're not sure. You're pretty sure it's dead.
I think he's dead. Yep.
As you all walk in, and you each walk in, you all see the same sight.
I would inspect him too.
Medicine check against 3 purples.
I'm gonna check the corners and look for defense shit. You know,
Sure,
some
sure.
warfare
Oh,
stuff.
I did 4, but whatever.
That's fine. Success. Warfare check from Ogre, please. Wade, are you just standing in Wade?
Perceiving, looking
Against 2,
for-
Scott. Against 2.
Looking around again, cameras, turrets, anything that might.
Same
be,
thing. You
like,
make perception check. There's not a lot to look here, but perception check.
2 purples or how hard?
Yep. 2 perps. Okay, we'll get to those in a minute. Cora,
Nice.
Trig's not wrong. It's definitely dead, but its bodily functions are being kept up and running artificially. You imagine that the wires that are running through it, the cords that are attached to it, are keeping the body functionally alive. But what's up
Okay.
here is likely long gone.
She would see that and she would say, "Oh, sick," and kind of recoil a little bit and be like, "They're keeping the body alive."
Trig like grabs your hand, and he's like,
What do you mean? Oh.
Like life support, but he's dead. He's dead.
Wait, there's definitely a security camera in the command center room, but not in the hallway.
Does the one in the room look functional?
Not that you can tell.
He
Excuse
must
me.
have sacrificed himself in order to make sure that
Ogre, no turrets up
Whatever's
here.
happening here continues. Let me see what I can do.
And Trig's gonna try to figure out what's going on in this room.
Computers check against 2 reds and a purple, please.
Jeez, we don't have anything.
Well, at least we can tell your god's benevolent.
All right, is this like a repairing thing or no? This is just
No, this is just trying to figure out what the hell's happening.
okay. Figure what the hell's happening. Roll. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Wow,
that's
nice roll.
Nice.
At least he didn't use the dark side.
That's very true.
Yeah, I know. I was worried.
Trig, you're trying to go through these computer screens as best you can. There's like things flashing here and there occasionally, words that don't really hold any weight or have any context to them, so they don't make any sense. And you spend some time just trying to parse what information it's flashing at you together before Trig kind of comes to the conclusion, along with likely having Cora said what she had said, that the only reason that these computer screens are even going right now is because that body is being kept functionally alive. What's being displayed on screen probably doesn't make any sense to you because whatever's in that chair is long, at least functionally in its brain, long gone.
Okay. So it's like
the computer is running things through the body of the Chadrafan. It's using almost the body of the Chadrafan as a like a computer, a part of it.
Wait, I'm confused. Are you saying that the body is alive and the brain is dead, or the brain is alive and the body is dead?
The brain is dead.
The brain is dead. The body is alive. Correct.
Oh, that's weird. Okay.
Yeah.
So does it seem like I have to detach it to get things working, or can I
That
still?
you at the very least at least come to the conclusion that it being attached to the computer is not helping it.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna have to detach him.
Hold up. I got a gut sensation going on right now, Womp Rat. That thing is
You
there
got
for.
whoop again?
I'll have you know there was more than enough mess made somewhere out there in that water hole. But I have a feeling like this is supposed to be here. And if you disattach that thing, what if it needs something else?
Well, I don't know. But I think it's messing with it. I can't make out any of this mumbo jumbo. I think maybe it's trying to use what's in that feller's head, and, well, let's just say it's not working properly.
Wait a second. Look at that monitor. It says, "Get out now." All right, time to go.
No, it doesn't.
Is that a jigsaw right there?
I'm pretty sure I just saw. Do we have to go down to the science? I don't want to go down to the science wing, but
I'll go over
I'm
it.
not gonna sit in the chair and become Mr. Tube Chair.
I'll go over and assist with obviously your hands unhooking. I'll move the body for you.
So
I
Trig,
don't
you're
know
gonna
if we should unhook the. We should just.
Assuming he chooses to unhook the body, he being Trig.
Yep.
I'll move the body for you.
Okay.
So does Trig, do you go to unhook this thing?
Well, I mean, Trig's kind of like having the discussion with them.
Sure.
Whether it's the right thing to do or not. So.
Follow your lead, buddy.
We don't know anything about this place other than that it kidnaps people, it takes them in here, it threatens them with spidery robots, and then it funnels you up to either become a pile of bones or get hooked to a chair.
Listen, I think that the spiders were my fault. It doesn't make me less scared. I want to go. I want my ship. I miss my ship. I miss my dog. I miss your wife.
Not married.
Girlfriend.
If it makes you feel any better,
Engaged.
if it makes you feel any better, you may have summoned the spiders, but I broke the dome.
Yeah, we'll discuss that later.
And I gave away my last beer. We're all guilty of something.
Yeah, that's your crap.
It was. Gave it to you.
We just figure out how to get home.
We should check out the science floor before we detach this thing, because if this sets off another security feature, I don't want to have a bunch of other things swarming us.
Perhaps we should detach the droid,
This could set off some kind of security. No one would volunteer for this.
I look to Trig and say, "You check the computers. What's it say?"
That's what I'm saying. It's not making any sense. But I did backtrack it, and I think that it's using this feller's brain to work on something, but I'm not sure what. It's definitely using him as part of a machine, as part of the machine at this point. But see, I don't know what you're thinking. You got
I'm
the wrong
thinking this
idea
place
here.
is a horrible place, and we got kidnapped and brought here, and because we're not Chadra fan, we were nearly murdered outside the door.
Oh, calm yourself. You've been nearly murdered for stupider things than that.
I've had party
Yeah,
members
that's right,
who've
you
nearly gotten
have.
murdered before.
And this
I
is
have
something
made
I've
one or
seen.
two minor mistakes in my 3 or. The point being, 7. Shit, 9. Okay, I've made some.
If I give you something to drink, would you calm down a mite?
Have you been holding? No, do not distract me.
I'm gonna reach into Trig's bag and pull out a small flask that's there.
Okay.
It's oil, and I'm gonna bring it over and be like, "Here," and like push it into his like chest.
He will take a sip.
It's oil.
Yeah, as you put it up to your lips, Trig is like, "That's not." You already put it.
That's what you thought it was.
He will throw it at Ogre's head. What do I
He's
roll?
distracted
Trig
coughing.
is gonna try to catch it.
What do I roll to throw this at Ogre's head?
I don't know. Let's take a look.
Do you
here.
really want to miss again?
Yes.
Ranged light.
I still get the shield out. It means that
How
you're
do I
gonna roll
catch
against
it?
2 black dice.
If you want to catch it, you can athletics roll.
All right.
Against
So what am I rolling? 2
It's
black
2
dice.
black dice. We're engaged, so it's
Oh,
also
I'm
two,
gonna catch it.
two purple.
I
You know.
know.
All right, Trig does not catch it probably.
Ah!
Ah!
Fuck you, Ogre!
I hope you get oil all over you.
I don't want
Use
to critically hit him.
triumphant
I just want him to be covered in goddamn oil.
Yeah,
from
it absolutely does. It splashes and spills all over your clothes and your face.
Hey, I might have needed that.
I certainly didn't.
Well, I'm not the one who gave.
Trig looks grumpily at Ogre.
It's one of those times where I was annoyed when it first hit me in the back of the head, and then when I see my reflection in a monitor, I'll actually give like a. I find it amusing.
I should have double crit your ass is what I should have done.
At this point, Cora is gonna drop to a knee and get on Trig's height and just be like, "Listen, let's do whatever we can to get out of here safely. Don't you miss the ship? Don't you miss Naboo?"
Yeah, but this place got all kinds of interesting things.
I will help
Bones,
you
bodies hooked to
however you
cables,
need so that
murderous
we can get out
spiders.
of here as soon as possible, as safely as possible. But
I
I do
vote-
think that it's smart that we go down to the science floor and disable any security droids.
I vote we at least look down there before we touch whatever the hell this is.
What if going
Don't you
down
think
there
the
triggers
control
something?
center would have controls to turn off the security? That's what I'm thinking.
He makes perfectly reasonable sense, and going down there, we might end up triggering something else that we ain't triggered yet. We're here. There's a job to do. Let's get it done.
There's a job to cut Cable Boy from. All right, cut Cable Boy
Hey,
down.
he's probably got a name.
Listen,
Trig kind of moves over and looks to see if he's got like a name on his.
Yeah,
No.
Victim number 1 is his name.
But can I get a lore check while you look at him? Only Trig can make this roll.
I'm going to defer
What's the difficulty?
expertise
2.
to those that are experts. We got captain into the captain. We got compute into the computers.
One
We got killer
success.
into me, and you run your mouth.
As you look over the garb, what's left of it that hasn't rotted away in time, which is almost most of it, all that kind of really lingers is a bone necklace that runs around his neck, a few bracelets that have varying different gem rocks and stones, and bits of cloth that leave around, and a bit of a what looks like a crown, I guess you might call it. It's not like a proper crown as much as it's like a headband that is made out of rock and bone. And as you kind of finally catch a little bit of more detail as you go over the body and not immediately recoil, that garb looks familiar only because of the stories that were told of how the old emperors and kings used to dress.
This looks really familiar, actually. I don't know who this feller is, but
It's called torture.
I think he's wearing a crown. Reminds me of the old emperors from. Well, that's been a long, long time ago. Ages. Basically, our lands weren't the same as they are now. They used to be run by a bunch of all kinds of different leaders. But then there was the Great Big War, which is different than the Great Big War. Or the Great War.
You shove the tube in my head. I can't take it.
So, does Trig want to start yanking wires out of this guy?
Trig kind of looks at him and he's like,
Sorry.
and starts kind of like tugging at the
Sure.
wires.
It takes some effort, and every
looks at
time.
Corin's like,
I'll do my best to do it as fast as we can.
Cora will actually assist you because she's decent at medicine.
okay.
Medicine check then, please. And you can give her a bonus. Whoever has the highest medicine check may use their medicine check.
I have 3 ranks.
I do not have any ranks in medicine.
And so you'll get a blue die from Trig helping you out. Having like a familiarity
I'm
with
6 green though.
Oh, 6 green versus how much?
Versus 2 yellow and 1 green. I feel like maybe I should assist you.
Okay.
I don't know.
I could triumph it, but you're more
Yeah.
likely to succeed.
That's true.
Whoever is making the main roll, add a blue
I
die.
think you should roll. I'm assisting you. I'm like, oh, don't pull it out that way. Make sure you know,
3 purples is what you're rolling against.
clamp here. Yeah.
3 purples. Okay.
Pulling out's never safe. Wrap it first.
I know that I can only be assisted by one person, right?
Yep.
Okay. Here we go. Oof, no.
You fail, however, nothing happens. It's basically null. Nothing happens. With rolling some advantages at least, it allows you to make another try at the same difficulty. Time is eaten up.
Maybe you should do it.
Trig
I'll
says.
try.
And you can get my assist from me.
Okay.
Nice. I like how that played out. That makes sense.
So Cora, you go about the removal process for some of these. What's interesting you find is each cord seems to be slightly different. They're not just, needles plugged in. The first one that you pull out is a needle. And as you kind of pull it out of the body, the kind of sloppy, just wet noise of it being unsuctioned from a body, who knows how many centuries or millennia old. And immediately the first thing you pull out is beginning to leak like a green liquid. It's beginning to drip very slowly. The next one you pull out seems to be grafted into the skin itself. There's no needle to it. It's just under a couple of layers of skin. You have to kind of cut it away and eventually pull that out. Then there is one on the top of the head, kind of matrix style, not the same, like not a needle, but this is also heavily grafted to the spine itself, and you're able to kind of eventually pry that free. And the last one is on the lower back. And this one is also a giant needle that is plugged directly into the lower spine that eventually able to pull free. And once all of these come free, the body kind of loosens up and just slumps forward.
Yeah, I would catch it like hold it bride style and walk it away and lay
give
it
it a
down on
big
the floor.
It smells awful. It's gross.
I'm still gonna be. Cora would 100% keep her composure and respect the dead king of Trig's people.
And then, so Trig,
Trig
once that
respects it, but he's also like,
yeah, once the last cord is pulled, all of the computer monitors go off. They all just turn black.
All right, well, I kind of expected that. They really plugged him in. I don't know if he could do that himself. Wonder who was helping him out here.
Oh, Satan. What's that? Is that bluefish?
Can I please get a perception check from all 4 of you against 3 purples? Two purples. Sorry, not 3. 2 purples. Average difficulty.
okay.
I am going to heal a strain.
I am not seeing anything. I'm too distracted by all the things.
Is that everybody?
It actually makes sense that Trig and Cora are the
So
ones.
Siam and Ogre, being the paranoid, more war-focused ones, after all the screens go black and some minutes pass, you actually can hear like a faint, steady alarm sound that seems to be coming from 1 floor below you.
Is that about how far the science wing was? It was
Yep.
a floor down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. You
And
hear
it
that?
and happened pretty close to when the body had been fully removed.
Oh God, is the bone collection gonna grow?
Yeah, ours are gonna join. You hear that alarm?
Well, maybe I can get this back up and running before that happens.
Back up and running? With who? Who's your battery gonna be?
Well,
We
you're
all
gonna
look
be
at him.
Trig kind of runs over to the command center like panel that the other guy was hooked up to and tries
Sure.
to figure out what he can do.
Much like you had come across before, the what you run into is the consensus that this thing can't fully operate without something hooked into it. It seems to have been designed that way specifically.
Okay. Trig's like,
Well, someone's. I think I might have to hook up into it.
No, absolutely not. No.
It's when you hear no, you actually hear what sounds like a low pop, maybe in a slight rumble, maybe 2 floors down.
That doesn't
Sound like an explosion to those with warfare.
Siam, look for an exit.
There's yeah, on it. I'm gonna look around to see if there's anywhere. Does this tube go up any further?
No, just
I'm-
down.
Sorry, Trig. I have humored you. I have tried to help you through this, but I am not letting you get plugged into that machine and become that. And points at the dead king on the floor.
Well, it's either that, or we all might become that.
We haven't checked out the science floor where the alarm's going off. We could go down there and hope that there's some way out.
I don't think it's safe to go down there anymore, Siam.
Well, if it doesn't, we don't go down there. It's coming up to us.
We need to leave now.
That's the only way out that we know of is to
They
go down.
might have like some breathing masks, something where we can.
I mean, let's think about this realistically. How many of them things could there possibly be? I say, like, almost like bracing my gun on top of a railing, kind of setting it up.
You're
We
setting up
got
for the
on
elevator
fire.
assault. He's like, I'm camping here as long as it takes.
I would rather
Battery.
fight my way out than be plugged into a machine chair. I'm with Ogre on this one. But if we kill everything here that's out to kill us, I still don't know how we leave.
Hey, Siam, I do have to let you know, I am fresh out of grenades.
I wouldn't use grenades. The other side of this wall has water.
I didn't stop him before.
Oh, it's got
I
a
know, and
lot
look
of
what
water
kind
now.
of situation it got us in now.
This all started because we ran into a fish. I just want to point that out. There was a big fish. We all charged at it. Now we're looking at plugging ourselves into chairs. This just goes to show you that gods are bad.
Another rumble off in the distance, and
Hear that?
a very muted.
That's because you keep saying that. Stop it.
Siam, search.
I will search.
So where are you gonna go into the elevator and go down?
I
No,
will search
this
everywhere that's
room.
not down.
There's room for an exit.
I'm looking for. Can we get one of those computers up and running? Can we get anything working without plugging into the chair, Trig?
Unfortunately, I had to use my battery pack sometime in the past, taking down them trees and the like. I ain't got no extra power cells on me.
I could have created something if I had some light side points.
I'll do
but I
this.
don't.
I will give you your ability to use the invention, under the understanding and deal that you being allowed to do that is going to cause a negative thing to happen in turn.
I'll leave this up to.
I am trading you the dark side points basically so you can trade them directly back to me. I'm immediately using 2 dark side points so that you have them so you can make an invention.
Do we get to choose what story narrative?
Door 1, 2, or 3, baby.
I mean, I'm fine. I think it's a good trade. I suggest that Maggie does go along with it. I would also like to assert that the dark side is that Cora gets dark side powers. Yep. She's the yang to his yin, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, I got
Yeah,
you.
Cora is definitely the dark side of the two of us.
Do you want to accept that deal?
All right, we'll accept the deal.
Okay.
Howie Mandel.
What do you want to? What are you looking to invent? You're just trying to make something that will
power
get you
source.
information off that computer while you can.
Yeah,
Air
power
vent.
source.
Okay,
Star
gotcha.
Wars always
Temporary
has
power source.
Something to gotcha, to make it work. In
Star
the
Wars
meantime,
always has giant air vents. Do I find giant air vents?
not here.
God damn it.
Trig starts.
Got air
He
vents.
just puts his bag down on the ground and puts his like this tackle box or not tackle box, like toolbox down, and he starts like ripping things open and pulling things out, and he's just like,
I gotta have something in here. Maybe I can make something, or maybe I can put this thing and that thing, and then I got an idea. I don't know if it's gonna work though.
And then Trig
Here's the
rather.
thing, I might not actually even.
That's true.
succeed. Just
Oh,
letting
that's right.
guys
You gotta
know.
roll. You gotta roll.
I have to roll it.
What's the roll?
I'll paste it in chat.
Oh God, that doesn't sound. What?
It's
It's daunting.
Daunting mechanics check.
Is that 4?
4 purple,
Mm-hmm.
and I have
And it's 2 destiny points, so like he's going
yeah.
for
That's why I was
1
saying I
hour
had
day.
to spend 2.
That's
like,
why I said I give you 2, but the deal is I'm basically using 2 right away, so that you have the 2 to spend.
Oh God.
And because it's a mechanic,
Let me check something real quick.
I get 1 blue. And I think that's all I got.
I got it. She successfully makes this thing. Siam dies. Trade. Fair.
I hate you.
All right, you may make that roll when ready.
Cora, do you want to say anything before Trig?
As I walk through the valley of the shadow,
Make the best damn machine you have ever made right now.
take a look at my life and realize that
Yeah.
That wasn't daunting. Oh no, because you lowered it. Because you can.
That was just inspiring rhetoric. That was Doc.
Oh, that was cool.
No, that was it. That was it.
Oh, I was about to
No,
like.
it was
God.
succeeded. It was. Woo!
Everybody heal a strain.
Ooh.
Oh, she did it.
Whoa!
I
Trig did it.
succeeded, but barely.
So the bad thing that
I
happens,
want to hug you right now.
you can actually, as Trig is putting this thing together, not only can you hear what sounds like the shattering of glass from the elevator, probably from the 2nd floor, but you actually hear the shattering of glass of the dome on the outside. More water is pouring forth and filling the dome faster and faster and faster. Trig.
Can't think with all that sound.
Trig, you're quickly downloading files. You don't know what files you're downloading. You're just grabbing what you deem like looks like useful while you still have this brief window to get whatever information is on this thing without it being hooked up to a body. You basically trick the code in telling it, no, this is a body. It's a body long enough to get something. As you pull back and are able to unplug this thing from your datapad and quickly go through the files, you get a little bit of brief information as to what this structure actually does, or what it at least seemed to be for. Initially, it was created by a king, Shadrafan king, to create a means of easy transportation between islands planet-wide. That these fish that he had been experimenting on and breeding and trying to implement whatever ancient technology from back then into them to create these kind of cyborg fish, it was simply going to be a transportation system. The king eventually died and wars broke out. The experimentation went from quality of life to war. And these fish went from transportation vessels to war vessels. And they were attacking islands that they were at war with on the planet, crashing into them, destroying buildings, swallowing up and killing who they could. And those that didn't get killed got brought back here and experimented on by the king who had taken this place over. And that had been going on for a long time. Journal entries dating many, many, many years. You could go through all of them, but you wouldn't have the time to right now. But eventually those journal entries...
Sacrifices to them every year.
And then eventually, about 1,500 years ago, 1,500 years ago, the journal entries just abruptly stopped. He had been talking about a great breakthrough, full experimentation. This was going to win him the planet, win him his nation, and then it just ceased. That's
So
what you know
nothing
about this
useful
place.
for me.
You know that this place wasn't built for war. This place was not initially built for war. It was retrofitted to be war, a war-like base.
But I mean, nothing that's going to help us get out of here.
No, there's no secret exits here. As you look at the schematics you've downloaded, there are only the exits that you know of.
Got some good news. This place is not made for war. Got some bad news. I can't find us an exit.
This place was not made for war is the good news.
I mean, yeah.
What was it made for?
Ooh, ha.
Well, I don't know if this is the time to really be talking about that with all of that happening. We might want to deal with that situation first.
You
Can
already.
try to swim. We're gonna
I'm gonna go
die.
look at the elevator and see if the elevator is still functional or if it's completely erect.
Seems like the computer terminal's still on. You can still use it.
The elevator?
Yeah.
You
You
already
just-
jury rigged the system once. Can't you get this thing to just start going up?
There's no
nowhere else
up.
for it to go up.
No. I mean, fish just swim up. Or sorry. Never mind. I was thinking we were in the fish, but they're in the facility.
Mhm. The facility that controlled the fish.
Yeah. Sorry. Mhm.
That's the other thing, in case I didn't make that clear. Like,
Yeah,
whoever
yeah,
was
yeah.
sitting there, Maggie, controlled all of the fish.
Okay.
I think I have an idea. You're not gonna like it though.
He looks at Cora when he says it. When he says that part.
What's your idea?
You could plug me into it. It
Yeah,
needs a
wow.
power source. If it has a longer lasting power source, I could control all the fish, and then we'd have a place to escape. Well,
Hold up. Is this hookup going to be permanent or temporary?
You don't know.
I don't know.
I got one body out of it. I can get another out.
But do the fish work without someone? Oh god. Who?
Not
Why?
as far as you know. As far as you know, Maggie, from what you were looking at through the journal entries and such, the only reason the fish were still active is because they were running on some rudimentary autopilot, more or less. The tracking devices were what they were using, the fish were using to still operate even long after the body was dead.
I don't think that the fish will work. So basically, these were created as transportation devices, which kind of kicks my whole big fish theory in. Well, that's a whole other problem that I have to think about. That's my whole life, my childhood, all my family. I'm gonna have to tell everybody. This is gonna be a giant mess. I'm telling you.
Trig could
Oh.
become the god he worshipped.
Oh no. You see, Trig, I think this is something bigger and better than perhaps any of us realized, or maybe that you do now. I think that today is not a day of mistakes and explosions. I think today might be a day of ascension. I envy you. I have to say that.
Ascension?
Greg goes and sits in the chair and
He's
starts
come
plugging in. He starts plugging in some of the ones that he can.
The
Obviously,
minute-
I'm gonna assist because
Sure.
I'm a diehard loyal.
Yes, you are.
And
So
Cora is gonna actually assist because
Sure.
she has the
Better
many.
Absolutely.
I'm just like,
Get in the
Questioning if
skull.
he's with the right party, and two, he's gonna go poke the dead king and be like, hey, "Excuse me, how's Ascension treating you?
As it
Oh,
just
it sucks. That's too bad."
eventually, over time, you guys, with Cora's medicine knowledge, Trig's computer knowledge, and Ogre's just extra hands, the four of you slowly, work these things in. The first thing that goes in is the needle. As you kind of figure out, the needle with the green liquid goes in, and as it gets plugged in, you actually almost immediately feel a sense of invigoration, or rush energy, as this unknown substance starts coursing its way through your body.
it's cocaine.
The next goes into your arm. It goes under the skin graft. A little electrical kind of current feels like it's running through you. It hurts like a bitch.
Ow.
The next is the one in the back of the neck. As that one pierces in and eventually sets in and the blood begins to trickle a little bit underneath, the first question that pops to your mind, and you're not sure why, is, what is your favorite color? What is Trig's favorite color?
Oh, I really like orange.
When you say that, all the screens light up orange. Just without anything on it.
It's beautiful.
As that last plug settles in, the one that was in the lower back is attached to the chair, and as you lean back, it just with the one swift action pierces in, and you can feel the thick needle tap into your spine. You get pulled back into the chair a little bit, and it's excruciating pain. It's excruciating pain, but you are kind of kept in a very rigid position. Within moments, your brain and your mind are overloaded with information. Every experiment that has taken place here, its entire history since it's been created, the purpose of what the fish were originally for and what they were created for, and the intelligences of 40 different fish swim within your mind, compartmentalized. You can move them around. You can even, they feel like an extension of your arm, a separate limb that you can control. You say up, and you can see through the eyes of one of them as it begins to swim up. You have another one move to the left, and you can see through the eyes of that one. And as you experiment further and further, can I get a computer's check against 2 purple, please?
Someone said Trig is overwritten just like Terra. What's the difficulty?
A 2. Very average.
Yeah, I put my shield between Trig and myself.
With that,
Whoa!
with that roll, you with that incredible roll, not just one,
Or
but
successes and a triumph.
with not just 1 or 2 or 3, but you can see through the eyes of all 40 fish simultaneously right now. Most of them are in the docks, and you can see the actual dome filling up as your fish look up. You can actually see the holes up in the dome that have been shattered and have since spread further and further. And there are a few.
Ogre, you know that creature we saw with like 12 eyes?
Yep.
I feel like I can see like that creature can.
There is actually
majestic.
a few fish that were on their way to an island that are stopped dead now that they have that you have control over them. You can see basically in black and white through them, but you also have perfect control not only over them, but over this entire building. All of the droids in the science level have stopped moving and are waiting command. The blast doors you can open and shut at will. You know the best bet for them to escape is to get to a blast door. As you open it, water's going to rush in, but you could have a big fish waiting right there to gulp them and bring them to the surface.
All right, I got a plan for you.
Can I have all the droids like kind of like march with them? So it's like a
You think it, and just like, I wonder if I could. And as the plan is unraveling in your own mind, you can sense throughout your entire your body and the system that you're attached to that the droids immediately react to the command and begin lining up on the second floor.
I imagine they were literally right outside, like inside the elevator.
Oh yeah,
shaft.
no,
They
they're
took over. They're like,
yeah. You haven't looked down the elevator shaft yet, so you haven't gone there. But all the droids cease and are waiting to operate under your command.
All right, follow the droids. I got a plan.
This, for the record, this is a bad idea. We are sacrificing a friend. This is not ascension. This is suicide. Just throwing it out there before we go.
What beautiful poetry.
Thank you.
This is the final sacrifice the big green fish needs.
Don't worry, Siam. I think I know what I can do with this. I'll be able to help all my people.
When we look at Trig, does
Yep.
it look like Trig can literally see us with Trig's own eyes, or only hooked up to the senses of the system?
Trig, if Trig wanted to, he could see through his own eyes, but in the current moment, his eyes just are vibrating back and forth rather rapidly and just kind of staring at the orange screens.
I placed a hand on Trig's shoulder,
Trig can feel
like kind of like doing one of those, trying to grab Trig's senses. And I lock eyes with Trig and I say, "Little Womp Rat, it was always a pleasure, and it always will be." And I'll tap my forehead to his, just like a quick little bump.
Yeah.
And then I'll grab my eye goggle thingies that I let him borrow a couple minutes
Yeah.
ago, and start heading towards the door.
Okay.
Trig smiles and he says,
Anytime. You guys know where to find me.
And so you make your way to the elevator. As the door opens, there are actually
Oh no.
no.
Cora 100% gets down and touches Trig's face.
Oh yeah, sure.
And is like, "Is this what you want?"
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss you.
I'll miss you too.
And she's gonna hug you and hope you feel it.
She does. He does. Absolutely.
Cry.
he says when you do that and you like touch foreheads like he did before, he says,
Don't tell Ogre. You were definitely almost my favorite.
Heard that.
Taylor.
Siam, any parting words?
You still have those cameras on you, Trig?
pocket. Inside the pocket, there's a second pocket.
If you didn't talk so much, I wouldn't let you even make this decision on your own, for the record.
There's 4 of them, by the way.
Not anymore.
No, I'm just telling you how many you have. I like that Siam's parting words with me is like, how can I loot you?
Yeah, pretty much.
There's 4
He's-
surveillance tags.
He's gonna be sad later. Right now, he's pissed. He's
And this
pissed
is
off.
their rarity 4, and that's
There you go.
what they do.
Okay.
They are 175 per.
Cool.
Trig, we could try to come back for you. You don't have to stay here and become that.
Well, if you find a way, you know where to find me.
Do you want us to?
Well, I don't know.
He's gonna like just wipe his brow and just look to the other two, just incredulously that everyone's just going along with this.
Damn, it's this or we all die, and this way Trig can help his people. He said it. This is what he wants.
We're
I
all
can't
aware that there's
force
no
him to
gods,
be on
right?
my
There was no gods here. This is just. This was,
Can you define divinity?
yeah, shitty.
Cora would grab Siam's hand again and just like look at him like, please don't, and like start pulling towards the elevator.
Trig,
Yeah,
be the
when
god
Siam
your
says
people
that,
need. Don't be the god that your people had.
When Siam says that, Trig changes all the lights
Mhm.
so they're all different colors,
Sure.
and
Disco.
he says,
Well, if this isn't what a god feels like, then I don't know what is. I'll tell you what, Siam. I can see everything from here. And you
He
know
will
what?
make sure his fly is zipped.
And it,
Beautiful.
interestingly enough, that conversation can continue as you're making your way down the elevator shaft with a droid or two sitting in, and as you make your way past the second floor, you actually see busted glass and droids just standing idly by the busted glass where they clearly had broken it. But you can still hear them, and Trig can actually speak to them through like an intercom system, and everything they say and all their movements can be heard by Trig himself. So this conversation happens as you make your way towards the blast doors.
Once this starts that the thing keeps talking,
Mhm.
I'm going to turn to them and say, I thought for just a moment that our ship was going to get a bit quieter. Unfortunately, I say, and one of the droids is like right next to me. It's not. And then I like smack the droid in the side of the head.
the droid smacks you back.
Fair. Eventually, you're led to a blast door. It'll slowly open as the water pours in and as you get your equilibrium as it begins to fill. And it will fill. However, Trig knows that there's a drainage system built into this building, and it will take time and a lot of droids that are already in the water, but repairing the dome can happen. It'll take probably years, but he could do it. And as the water kind
I
of...
think it's gonna probably take me, I don't know, probably 792 days. I think I could
okay.
probably repair that.
He just keeps talking.
Yeah. As the water fills up, you see one of those giant green fish from a distance swim its way up very quickly. And as it approaches, you actually see in a wave-like pattern its scales turn from green to orange, as all of the fish on the outside go from green to orange. And
The
its
big
mouth
orange fish.
and the mouth slowly opens and clearly awaits for you as the three of you swim in, closes. The water eventually drains through the gills. And Trig, I assume you swim them back up to the island that they came from.
Yeah.
But we can pick up that as they exit the mouth of an orange fish on a beach next week and next episode.
That was awesome.
Farewell to Trig.
I'm gonna die right now. Don't make me go first.
Aw.
Oh, thank God she's gone. Oh, he's gone. Oof.
Siam
Can we
hates
bring a
everyone.
trig droid with us? Is that possible?
I mean,
Like, I'm
you
curious
don't.
how
Yeah,
long
I mean, you don't know.
long distance
You
sensors
could
have.
you could take one with you easily.
Totally bring a trig droid.
Sure.
Want a trig droid?
And now it's up to Trig. And Trig, if Trig ever comes back or we ever revisit Chad, I can reach out to you, Maggie, and you can tell me what you've been doing with Trig throughout the planet to change how things work. Do you want them to tell them that you're the one controlling, or do you want them to continue to believe that there is a God? All of that can had conversation in Discord or what have you, so that they know what to do when they hit the beach. And if you want them to tell them, be like, just, let them know I died down there, and you can let them continue to believe or what have you. We can talk about it.
Trig's gonna go all Genghis Khan and just start being like the most prolific, spreader of DNA in history of Chad.
I always had a crush on you and you and you. If you get this green fish,
Orange
drive you down
fish,
to my private suite.
because it's lit, son.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you're a subscriber, you can watch the VOD right away. If not, it'll be live tomorrow around 24 hours from now. The Farewell to Trig episode, definitely worth watching if you missed today's episode. But we'll go around the room. People can tell you where they're at, where they can find you. And oh, look at that. That's awesome. Why don't we start with the one that we're saying goodbye to? The one who played many a character here on Lost Initiative, Maggie.
Yay. I'm sad to go, but obviously you guys can reach out to me. I can fill like guest slots and stuff like that if it works for. The only problem is for me, I have to start later, so I know that's rough on.
Well, we have an open spot next Wednesday.
Trig, the Trig bot is here now.
But you guys can find me at Margaret Crone in all of the places. It's pretty easy to find me. I'm on the internets, and yeah. Like that. Thank you guys so much for the many, many years of awesome fun, and I'm gonna miss playing with y'all.
It has been wonderful. And how about Scott?
I am Delric. You can find me by Googling Delric, where I play all sorts of things and do other stuff, and I'm also found here. That's that.
That's enough. Wade!
Find me being angry at all of my god-worshipping companions here, apparently.
Cora doesn't worship any gods, all right?
Not that he knows of. We'll find out.
Myself, Wade, stop.
You'll find me here every Wednesday for this Star Wars show. Hopefully every other Thursday we'll still be doing Dark Sun. I don't know what Dark Sun's looking like right now. I do a podcast with my friends Mark and Bob on Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/minion777, as well as stream other various games and random bullshit. And I post YouTube videos at LordMinion777 on YouTube.
Easy enough. And last but not least, don't cry. Doxy.
I'll try. Okay. I'm Doxy. Sad fart.
Wasn't wet
I'm
enough.
gonna miss you really bad, Maggie. I'm gonna miss you a lot.
I'll still be around. You can still
Yeah.
message me.
I will.
And I mean, I can still do stuff. I just have to do it later.
And Maggie's influence will never
Emotional.
truly...
Maggie's dead. Oh, God.
Maggie's
We'll never
influence
see
will never be gone because Terra is out there somewhere.
It's true.
It's
Oh,
true.
God. As soon as Mike's like, oh, Maggie's going to guest in for like...
You
a
know
couple
what's
of
coming.
weeks.
You know what's coming. You know what's happening.
Oh, hell yeah. I will guest in as Tara. I'm so in.
All right. Well, then I'm not going to be able to spoil it and let everybody know that you're going to be a guest until the cameras come on. Thanks for watching, everybody. We love you very much. Thank you. It's been fun playing with you again. Farewell to Trig.
Whoa. If I come back and she's in the call, I'm just going to leave. I'm going to be
You
sick.
won't know. What he's saying. He's saying he'll add me to the call.
Yeah, I'll
when
add you late, like right when the stream goes live. I'll be like, wait, we're missing one person.
Yeah, but I could just like right-click boot and be like, Maggie's not here. I don't know.
Not if I start the Zoom call.
Technical issues and things.
We'll fight about this later.
Yeah. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Goodbye.